It's a trap! It's a trap!
Aloha and blessings, everyone. Aloha and blessings. Welcome in to the Sunday Saloon. How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing good. We got a huge panel tonight. Let's get through these intros so we can get into this movie, y'all. Starting at the top, Mr. Spider, what you got going on, man?
Yo, nothing much. We got our biggest panel yet. Can't wait to dive into this. Thank you all for being here.
Hell yeah. Mr. Colhauser, the Canadian Colossus. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Glad to be back for the third installment.
Yes, sir. Mr. Birdbrain himself, Livid Pigeon. How you doing, sir?
Sapio, I'm good. I've finally fixed my computer that died on me earlier, but we're all good now.
Yeah. Mr. Darth Jaeger himself. What's up, brother?
Greetings, everyone. Thanks for having me on again. Looking forward to talking more Star Wars.
Hell yeah. The Lorax / Ewok, Mr. Graham Robbins. How you doing, brother?
Ahoy, hoy, meatbags. How you doing? Let's do this.
Yeah, Mr. Christian Rocker. Tell the people hello, bro.
Hello. Ready to talk about Rise of Skywalker.
Somebody kick him.
Mr. Rohlin the Wretched. How you doing, man?
Okay, if we're talking the Rise of Skywalker, I'm out of here.
Roland's already like, I'm out.
Because it would have been a nice infested curse fest.
And making her streaming debut, the lovely Mego. How you doing, darling?
Hi. Thanks for having me on, trying it out. This is a good movie to talk about, I think. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Donna Doc, what's up, sis?
Oh, not a whole lot. Waiting to get roasted because this is the first time I've ever seen this movie. So we'll see what happens. And thank you, Mego, for joining us. I heard you have an unpopular view of this. So
I mean, maybe not.
I just want to see the chaos. That's why I'm here. The chaos in the intro.
Yeah. Hey, man, I hope y'all like that intro, bro. I am the Beast, Ocean Man Productions. So I guess I'll start us off. I fucking love this movie. A lot more man movie in this one, a lot of actions, a lot of gear porn, a lot of fights. Got to see Yoda get down and dirty again, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then, the real G's of the show, C-3PO and R2-D2. I'll stand on that. But, so let's go around, get everyone's overall thoughts on the movie. I really liked it. Out of the 3 prequels, I'd say, yeah, right about the best of it. I'd have to give it to this one. That's just me and my normie take. So, Mr. Spider, overall thoughts, bro?
Yeah, it's my favorite of the 3 prequels for sure. There's a lot of great stuff in this. A lot of stuff that does fall short for me overall. Those who know me, I actually prefer the novelization over the movie. But we can get into that, and you can hammer me later for. But yes, I always have fun with this movie. I think it's one of the best openings, and one of the best looking films. So we're rolling on through.
I'll agree with you on that about the novelization being better. It had so much more depth that you don't get in the movie.
I think that's one thing that they did pretty well was when you're trying to cut the movie down, like Cole was saying before we started, there's a 4-hour cut out there of this that we'll never see because there's just so much. And I think for the normie audience, it's going to end up being, rather sort of, I don't know, it might come off extemporaneously or even, you might have a lot of needless expository dialogue, I think, in scenes to just kind of bring everybody up to speed if you haven't read the novelization. So I get why they did it, but yeah, the novel's superior.
Yeah. For me, it would be so I would think Revenge of the Sith had the greatest opening for all 6. I'm not counting those garbage ones, but for all 6,
yeah, we only recognize 6.
There's only 6. There's only 6.
It has the best opening. They basically threw everything in because he's just gonna blow this thing up. So, because for me, Revenge of the Sith is second to Empire Strikes Back for me. Because for my list of 6, it's Empire first and Revenge of the Sith. You got so much detail. You got a great, fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin that lasted, like 25 minutes. You got more, the clones switching sides. So you just got everything thrown into one basket. And I think it was fantastic and that's why it's the best of the prequels. And then it's my number 2 after Empire.
Yeah, for me, I'd say, again, second best of the 6. Best lightsaber scenes, best dialogue, best heel turn that we all knew was coming, but the way Anakin turns, Order 66, that sent chills for me when it first happened. I haven't seen it for, I was saying earlier to everyone, about 15 years, so I'm going on the memory of it. I can tell you now, from going to see all of them, when they came out, Revenge blew the other 2 away. It was just by far the best film of the 3. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. I think that's probably an opinion we all might share. I'm not sure here, but yeah, it bounces around for me from being my 4th favorite to my 3rd favorite. Currently, it's my 3rd favorite after Empire and Star Wars. Colhauser said they threw everything with the kitchen sink at this one, at that opening battle, but they actually did throw the kitchen sink in that opening battle if you listen to the commentary and watch very closely. But this is everybody's reasons are sound here. Great, one of the greatest fights ever. These guys worked on this for 3 months, and everything you see in that final battle isn't sped up. It's just Ewan and and Anakin there just pounding on each other with all these different moves throughout.
And he's still got it. Just
gets me excited just talking about it.
Yeah, I agree with Darth. I'm like just right in line. Empire, Star Wars, and then Revenge and Return. Kind of depending on my mood, I guess. Maybe the one thing that I think actually right now for me, if I think about it, gives Revenge of the Sith the edge is the Ewoks really kind of drag it down a little bit for me. I know initially George had said he wanted it to be the, Kashyyyk is where they were building the second Death Star, and they couldn't do a bunch of Wookiees, so they cut them in half and called them Ewoks. But that was a little, again, I don't mind goofiness in Star Wars, but the Ewok thing, I think there's none of that in Revenge of the Sith. I mean, you do actually have the Ewoks. They are on Kashyyyk. They are fighting, side by side. And yes, the lightsaber battles are, especially that one between Anakin and Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. Hayden Christensen's, I don't know if I mean, it feels accelerated. Again, if you've read the novelization, it didn't happen overnight. It's a slow burn. His sort of descent into not madness, but into selfishness and pride. And I thought Hayden Christensen, for all the crap he got for some of the cheese in Attack of the Clones, he did a phenomenal job here, portraying, his fear of losing Padme. And I really, really think he doesn't get enough credit for, you can see him struggling with, I know this is the wrong thing to do, but this is what I want. And do I do it? And the council wants this. And he's justified in the way he's feeling about the way the council's treating him. So again, for all of these, you got political intrigue, you got action. That opening space battle is just incredible. All of it is, that's why it's way up there.
Yeah, that novelization, as we were saying, just how much better it is. You really see more of the struggle Anakin has of that emotion and his internal feelings of what's going on, and you get a better understanding of why he's doing what he does, but that it wasn't just a quick flip for him. This was a struggle he really did not want to do, but he just gave into it.
Actually,
Rohlin, go for it, bro.
I'm going to take a little bit different angle here, and it's a bit hypothetical, so you'll have to walk with me a little bit. This is actually the best movie, and the reason why it's the best movie is because if these were actually told in order, what does it do to Empire Strikes Back? Where is the gravitas in Empire Strikes Back? It's in 5 words. No, I am your father.
Good point.
That gravitas is completely lost if this story is told in order, because the only person that doesn't know that Darth Vader is Luke's father is Luke. All the gravitas is gone. All the gravitas shifts to Revenge of the Sith. That is where all the gravitas is. When you walk out of Revenge of the Sith, if it's told in the proper order, you're like, holy fucking shit. Because everything has basically fallen apart. And you don't know where this is going from here. You don't really see a way out. The Jedi are dead. The Emperor's taken over. He's won. Everything has just been completely tilted on its head. And you don't know what the next steps are. I mean, so many people would walk out of that movie completely fractured and broken by Revenge of the Sith if it's told in the proper order.
I think that the people who watched it at the time, certainly the younger audience, probably would have experienced that because they hadn't probably seen Star Wars and Empire. It was a new thing for them. Not a great deal, because obviously it was the IP, but there were certainly a lot of people who'd never seen the first 3. So yeah, I think you're probably right on that. Yeah, and they will have experienced it completely different to certainly I would or you would have, anyone over the age of 35.
And there are certain things, also, if I'm throwing in the hypothetical, if we could have Marsha Lucas and
rest in peace,
the people that, R.I.P., and the people that kept Lucas in check in the original trilogy, if we had them for the prequels, we would more than likely have different prequels. The only person... And people said Anakin did a great job in Revenge of the Sith. Also, you can say Ewan McGregor did a great job. He finally remembered how to act. Both of those I contribute directly to Steven Spielberg being involved in Revenge of the Sith. I'll guarantee you that. And that's why that's why it's much better than the first two. He wasn't involved in the first two. Nobody was able to rail in Lucas. Too much Jar Jar.
Well, Ewan
too
McGregor
much
didn't have to go
Billy.
around any gates in them 3 films either, so you know.
No, he did. No, he didn't. You know, the stupid came back with Disney.
Stupid.
Possibly
But,
the worst show.
But
That's
like
an
I said,
interesting thought experiment to think about Irvin Kershner or Richard Marquand doing the prequels. I'd never really thought about that.
yeah. Imagine if you had all those people that worked on Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back for the prequels. It would be a totally different series of movies. And I also agree that Attack of the Clones should have been more than one movie. That thing needed to be chopped up. It's a mess because they tried to put so much together in one movie that it's convoluted. It's just a complete and utter mess, and that's why it's the worst out of the 6.
First time I saw Attack of the Clones, I really wasn't a fan of it. It wasn't until I gave it another watch a few times that I was like, okay, I actually do kind of enjoy this. But yeah, you're definitely right about that. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. But
all right. We got the dude's point of view. Let's hear what the ladies got to say.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Mego, your thoughts, sis?
So I hadn't watched this movie for a very long time. I don't know how long it's been since I watched it. I watched it on Friday. And I kind of realized when I watched it why I haven't rewatched it. It's cool in a lot of like places. The battles are cool, the lightsaber stuff. But it's kind of like watching a car crash in slow motion. It's not a lot of fun. Kind of a downer.
Well, thanks for joining us. We got to get you out of here.
It's the most depressing of all 6. And so I think it's a good movie in a lot of ways, although I have a lot of problems because I haven't read the novelization. I know it exists and it does explore Anakin's mindset a little bit more, but I do feel like the movie, even though it tries, you can see them trying to plant the seeds of his turn and everything. But it feels fast to go to like killing younglings, you know, like from being a lot of the time his like evilness, aside from killing the sand people, is mostly him sort of being a brat rather than like evil. So it does feel like a little bit of a jump, and the action's cool, but I don't know, Obi-Wan's storyline kind of, you're more invested in what's happening with Anakin, and that kind of takes you away. Kind of what you were saying. There's too much story, I think, in the prequels for the number of movies that they have. But I don't dislike the movie. It's just not like a good time. That makes sense.
Well, you realize it's supposed to be depressing, right?
Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to rewatch it a ton for that reason. Where the other ones, like, you have a good time while you're watching them.
Which of the three would you watch again?
Probably Phantom Menace out of the prequels. That's probably my favorite. I like Attack of the Clones. I could probably quote a lot of it because they have so many cheesy lines. When I was like 12, it was hilarious. My friends and I would just quote them to each other because they were so silly. So it's a good time, but I think I like Phantom Menace maybe the most out of the prequels as far as enjoyment, not whether it's like excellent movie.
All right, Mego, thanks for coming. Goodbye. Anyway,
I said I might have an unpopular opinion.
no, hey, listen, stand on it, sis. Stand on it.
Yeah.
All right, Donna Doc, first time watching, huh?
Well, so Mego's view explains why every single male's face here says "kick the women" and don't let them back on. I have a few points as a normie and as the first time seeing this. I kept wondering why this movie felt so much different than the first two. And then Roland's explanation, I think, is what nailed it. Because I kept sitting there. I kept sitting there watching it, just knowing it was so different, and I couldn't figure out why, because I don't know all the lore behind it. But thank you, Roland. That explains it for me. I did like the opening battle scene. That was really cool. I'm like, I'm down. I can get into this. No, I was wrong. Samuel L. as a Jedi just didn't really work for me. I kept seeing
No.
his Discover commercials. That's what happens from not seeing it sooner.
And it goes out like a
Capital One.
bitch.
Capital One, not Discover.
Oh, whatever. I don't have the card, so I don't care.
Yeah, they all look the same. I get it.
Yeah, wasn't
Yeah,
that Lawrence
that,
Fishburne?
you know,
Yeah.
every
Turn it
celebrity
up.
looks the
Donna,
same.
man.
And,
Casual
you know,
Donna racism.
that and well, that came from the Indian side of me, not the white side, so we're okay. That and Anakin was just. I just kept sitting there going, man, grow up, grow a set. You're supposed to be a Jedi, you know, grow a set. Do what you got to do. That's an unpopular female view. I know we're supposed to feel sorry for the man and do the chick flick thing.
Girl power.
No,
Well, could you
couldn't do it.
say that his immaturity, like he's supposed to be a Jedi, he's supposed to be proper and very aware of himself and surroundings, but you say that his immaturity is what partially led him down to the dark side, essentially, because he wasn't in control.
Immaturity, his uncontrollable temper to a point, just the fact that he was just hell-bent on doing everything that he knew he wasn't supposed to do. He knew he wasn't supposed to do it through all three movies, but he was so headstrong, he did it anyway.
Yeah,
So-
he's precocious.
Well, you can't really blame that on him because, first of all, it's when he lost his mother. His mother was very important to him. And now he's realizing he's going to lose Padme. That's what basically sets him over the edge. So, and that's two strong females in his life. So he has to realize, we all go down a dark path when you lose someone close to you or someone you want to be with. You just do. And this whole mindset of losing his mother that's why he basically went ballistic, and that's when he started going down that path. And then once he knew he had those dreams about Padme dying, it was off the table. Now it's either he's going to save her, or he's just going to go in complete insanity, and he's just going to just let loose with everybody because she meant more to him than anything.
Yeah,
So,
it's also
I think we needed to see more of them together, which again goes to the problem of not having enough time. Because you see them like fall in love, which I think is pretty sloppy in Attack of the Clones. Because he's kind of creepy for a while before she like randomly falls in love with him. And so I think we need to see them connect a little bit more. They had, a scene, they tried, but I just don't think they had the time to make that emotional, I don't know, connection.
They didn't take the time to cultivate the chemistry for it. For the
but you
amount
got to
of emotion
remember, you have
needed.
to remember, it's their both of their first love. So they're going through all the emotions of that, and you can all remember your first love. Your emotions are so heightened because you've never been through it before. Anakin's also going through having lost his mother, so his only real female love he's already lost. So as Colhauser says, he is hypertension over that because he's scared it's going to happen again.
How much time is in
Padme's
between?
royalty,
How much time is in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith?
3 years.
3 years.
3 and change years.
Yeah, and not to keep bringing up the novelization on this because we have to judge it by what the movie is. But you do see more of Padme and Anakin and their relationship and their emotional state because we have that great battle in the opening. And then once the book shows what happens right when they come back and there's a scene or I guess say a part with them too. So it's stuff you really wish you could have got in the movie because you make a great point. Things do kind of seem fast and rushed to tell a certain story. I wish we could have got more.
Yeah.
Well,
And that
the
may
ultimate
be part of the problem
lesson
that I have. That's part of the problem that I have with this movie is that it was so fast and everything was kind of like jumping straight along. I did enjoy, the battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin. I did enjoy the opening space scene, but it seemed like everything else in between was just crammed together to make it all happen in this certain time frame.
Yeah, they should have either gone further into that relationship or just only slightly touched on it. It should have. The thing is, they went in between.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was saying about the second one. That there was too much love story, and then it just sort of fizzles out, and it just suddenly thrown back in the last one. And it felt a bit off for me.
I can agree with that. Kind of like it felt like a half in, half out. It wasn't committed either way.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I said these 3 movies should have been 6 movies.
Yep.
Because there was just so much.
Yeah.
Like you got a lot out of the micro series, which was helpful, but it wasn't enough because there was just so much going on the political side, and then there was so much going on, with the clones and the separatists. There was the Jedi, doing what they were doing. So there was a lot happening, and then at the same time, you got Anakin and Padme. What's going on with their lives? So there was just so much just happening about where it's just trying to focus. Where do you focus on? That's why
And
you
all
need
of that sounds interesting.
So really what happened was it was really George's fault for going back and retroactively putting episode 4 on Star Wars when he should have put something like episode 6 or something, or not put any numbers on it at all. Then we wouldn't be stuck in this. Well, I already called this one 4, so that means there's got to be a 1, 2, and a 3.
Right.
Yeah.
So
let's just get 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. That's what.
Yeah. And this is what we discussed a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about Attack of the Clones, because Attack of the Clones, there's so much going on.
Almost too much.
There's too much going on, so everything is, from the start of Attack of the Clones to probably midway through, you're already overwhelmed because from them going to Camino, going back to Tatooine, going from Tatooine to Geonosis, it's all over the map.
Yeah, the explanation of the clones, they didn't need to go that deep into it, really.
I actually like that. I
like the cloning.
I needed that. I think you needed going more depth into the clones to find out the whole backstory, because nobody knows who the clones are until Obi-Wan's, until Luke mentions it in A New Hope. So I think they did. I think they did that. That was justified, in my opinion.
For me, they tied it too much to Django, or Fett.
Well, if you go to the EU,
that was a bit weird for me, and I understood the reasoning behind it. But
if you go to the EU books, there's a lot going on with Django. So,
I'll fully admit I've not read the books. I fully intend to.
You could have said it's just this is based on, we used a random Mandalorian to clone. But again, like Colhauser was saying, that there is a reason behind it.
Yeah, it wasn't the fact that they did that. That was their explanation behind it. It was the fact that they took so long through the film to resolve it, and it became the second storyline sort of thing. And I don't think it needed to be that much involved.
And that's the reason why that should have been put into 2 parts.
Yeah, that whole clone process could have been one movie right there.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see more of Jake the Monk, bro. Tamar Morrison is fucking great, and having him as the clone and just having his own movie with that whole part of it, like you guys are saying, would have been fucking awesome, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah. If you started these films differently, right? If George decided not to go with a 9-year-old kid, and I understand why he does do that, but if you just started these like in media res, the first episode is a space battle, you're dropped into it. It's Obi-Wan and it's, teenage Anakin fighting in the Clone Wars. You're dropped in the center of it, and then you move from there. You would have had all 3 films sort of about the Clone Wars and developing all of this. And you can move the story better that way, right? You get 3 films to show Anakin turning to the dark side instead of basically just 1.5.
Yeah.
So
I think the thing that gets lost if you do that is you don't get to see Anakin in his relationship with his mother, and that being the driving force. Yep. If you don't, you gotta have that in there. I know we don't see adolescent Anakin at all, but it's like George R.R. Martin said, the most worthwhile thing to write about is the human heart in conflict with itself, and that's really, Anakin's doing these things because he out of love, but dark things come from it. It just as Luke spares his father's life out of love. Like the heart can be both black and hardened and soft and kind, and it can do both of those things. And in that, I think if you jump in too late, I think you lose that.
Agreed.
Well, you
that's
just
the
have
core.
to remember
That's
the
the core of
ultimate.
the. Oh, go for it.
You have to
Go on.
remember the ultimate lesson: attachment to women is a bad thing.
Hear, hear.
Yeah,
Well,
like
they kept trying to tell him to let go of what he feared
And
losing.
here comes the hate from the women.
Nah. They kept telling him to let go of what he feared losing the most, and he wouldn't do it, and that was his downfall.
Well, I think
you
one
gotta remember
other thing
too.
that
Sorry, go Roland. Go Roland.
the other thing that kind of gets shoved away here is he also loses his only father figure. I realize it's a short thing, but he definitely considered Qui-Gon a father figure. So when he's taken away, and it's not the same relationship with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they even state that Obi-Wan is considered a brother. So again, he lost his father figure, he lost his mother. You know, it just at every turn he's losing someone close to him, and that's what is basically what kind of crushes him in the end.
Well, that's what Palpatine uses against him, is fear of his own.
Yeah. Well,
his own
and I was
loss.
going to say too was with the Obi-Wan aspect too. Here you have Obi-Wan who keeps lecturing Anakin on basically the process of becoming a Jedi. He's always telling him, you got to do this, you got to do this, don't lose this, don't lose that. And I guess, you know, he's not only looking up to him as a brother, but he's also looking up as a father because he's always with him. So, you know, when Anakin starts even doubting Obi-Wan, now the problem's even getting more, more challenging, because remember, who does Anakin in Revenge of the Sith? Who does Anakin talk to about death? He goes to Yoda. He doesn't go to Obi-Wan, right? And then Obi-Wan tells him, you got to keep an eye on the Senate. Now, and now he's conflicted now because Palpatine is his friend. So he's being drawn in so many different ways where he doesn't know where to go and where to turn.
Well, and just like a parent, Palpatine is the one that's saying, you want ice cream for dinner? Yeah, man. Palpatine's showing him nothing but support, whereas Obi-Wan and Yoda and Mace and all those other guys are saying, listen, if you want to develop right, you need to temper. It's not about instant gratification. These things take time. You need to be patient. You don't need to fall to your inner desires. Where Palpatine goes, I love that line when in Attack of the Clones. So they've finally given you your first assignment, and Palpatine just feeds that sort of those dark triad traits very, I would say, insidiously.
He's Machiavellian. That was his whole thing. He's the uncle that tells you to keep secrets. That's basically what he is.
Yeah. But to oversimplify it, what it is he didn't like what Mom was saying, so he ran to Dad, who comforted him. Yeah, and that's basically what it is.
Yeah, he rebelled.
Yeah, but also, who was the one who was actually going to help him save Padme? It was Palpatine. Nobody else. So he had a choice and a decision to make. He either follows the one that's going to help him save his love, or he doesn't, and she dies. So
Palpatine,
he knows he's the Sith Lord, and so sometimes when I was watching it the other day, I was like, I guess in the moment he just couldn't let him go, knowing that knowledge might die with him. But at the same time, he said that he was very angry when he found out the truth, and he wanted to kill him. So I think Mace Windu maybe made a mistake by forcing Anakin to stay in the council chambers so he could sit there and stew and think about it. And
but the thing is, go ahead.
Oh, you can go ahead.
The thing is, Palpatine even said, after he said you can do that, somewhere in there, Palpatine said only one has managed to do that, but together we'll find out how to do it. So right there, he's admitting that he doesn't know how.
He lied
right there, he was just admitting. Exactly. He was admitting to
that seed in his head.
that he couldn't do it.
Ride or die, but you're probably going to die. That's basically what he's saying.
And
Yeah, and it's all like, so touching on what everybody is really saying is like, he's rebelling, yeah, and
Yeah.
he lost his father, and as much as like a father Obi-Wan is, he's more like an older brother who kind of stepped into the role, and he even says, I failed you, because he knew he failed him, and what it was is, they basically failed to chin check his ass, right? Every young man knows there comes a time you start getting, puffy chest, and you think you're all that, and daddy comes along, chin checks your ass, and puts you in your place. Sit down, bruh, let me teach you something. And he never had that. You know what I mean? So he's all fucking emotion, all unbridled rage, and true masculinity, and that is taught to you by other males, and it's bridled power. Yeah, it's controlled rage. It's and he's never learned that. He's all raw nerve, all raw emotion.
Yeah.
And
Well, this story
why-
is very good. It goes across, if you really, you can apply. I know George said this is not religiously allegorical, but Anakin is a very Luciferian character, with Sidious being sort of, your wants and desires and things, and he rebels against what he knows is good because of his selfish wants and needs. You can apply, it any way you want, but.
Yeah, but you got to remember too, Anakin's growing more and more powerful each and every day. So when that power is getting to his head, he's basically, you know what, I can do anything I want. And that's how he's being pulled from side to side, but now he has all these powers. He took out Dooku. He's just going into a realm now where he's just like, nothing can harm me, nothing can stop me. I am just going full force. And someone that's young who has all this power, if you look at the Revenge of the Sith video game, you had the alternate ending where he kills Palpatine and he takes over.
I want to know from you guys, because I know everybody says, oh, Anakin crossed the Rubicon when he flew into a rage in the Attack of the Clones and slaughtered all of the Sand People. But if we're being honest, before that god awful Boba Fett series, they're like animals. I think he crossed the Rubicon, and then people say, oh, it's when he killed Mace Windu to protect the Emperor. I think he crosses the Rubicon when he defeats Dooku and kills him. And Palpatine knows it. He knows there's no coming back from that. What do you guys think?
There's partly to that, but it's not. It's Order 66. That's where he crosses because he crosses every line you can possibly cross when he does that.
Does he kill younglings if he wasn't willing to murder Dooku, though?
I think he was going
no, as far as I'm concerned, no, because you can kill a man and you can justify it. You can't kill children and justify it. So that for me, that was him going fully.
Especially a bad man, like if he was an enemy.
Yeah. The harming of innocence is where he crossed the Rubicon for me. Definitely.
Yeah, I will say killing Dooku though, I think kind of unlocked like, hey, I do have a lot of power. I just took this guy out.
That's what I was kind of getting at. Is
yeah,
he has the power to take out
He's certainly
anybody.
thinking it at that point.
Mm-hmm. And it's another compromise. So like marrying Padme in secret, that's a compromise. He has to hide it for years. This killing Dooku when he knows that it's wrong, it's another compromise of the morals that he's supposed to live up to. And so it's probably a big one. It's bigger than probably the marriage, right? Killing Dooku.
I think he was going to kill the younglings either way, because now the Jedi are perceived as a threat. So he has to go out and take out that threat. Whether they're kids or not, they're Jedi or aspiring to be, because he knows if he doesn't, they're going to come back. As Palpatine said, if we don't handle this now, there may be civil war, and things can then really go off the cuff. So I don't think he had much of a choice.
He should have stabbed Reva more than once, though.
You know what? Let's get into that.
It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't matter. Lightsabers don't hurt anyone anymore.
Dude, this whole movie, you remember the days, bro, when lightsabers did shit, cutting through fucking walls, we sawing fucking limbs off.
Qui-Gon Jinn, for God's sake.
Qui-Gon Jinn only got one through the gut, and he died. What a wimp.
Fucking lightsabers, bro.
Tis but a scratch.
What the fuck are you doing? Motherfuckers, man.
You got to remember though, the original. You have to say
in
though.
the fucking war, right? They land. This motherfucker is just decimating fucking droids, okay? Fucking decimate. I mean, just cutting through them like fucking butter.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, but we do have to go back to the original Star Wars.
Gonna body 2 fucking blows? Fuck out of here, okay? Fuck out of here.
You got to remember though, the original Star Wars, Vader kills Anakin, Obi-Wan by just touching him. Just touches his shawl and he just disappears. So you know, there is precedent to that. You can. The powers of the Sith are wise and strong, and sometimes they can cut you in half, and sometimes they can't. You know, and it works both ways. It works with the Jedi. Sometimes they've got powers that are unequaled, and sometimes they can't open a door. It's all over the place. I'm more talking the Acolyte and stuff like that, but you know, Disney Star Wars. Yeah. But you know, the power levels change film to film with some of the characters. There's no denying that.
Lightsabers don't change though, except for designs. But
yeah,
well, the effects of them do. But again,
when Obi-Wan dies, was it the lightsaber that just like disappeared him, or was it like his Force training that he turned into like a Force ghost?
I think he kind of faded away. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way I saw it. He sort of the lightsaber doesn't actually kill him. It touches his robe, and
basically Obi-Wan becomes one with the Force at that point.
In the moment,
supposedly that is what he'd.
I mean, the true fact.
And he told Vader that was gonna, I'm gonna become more powerful than you imagine. So,
I mean, the truth of it is they couldn't afford to visualize cutting him in half or something at that point, or because it was considered a children's film, they probably decided that they couldn't do that.
Well, the end of this movie is pretty gruesome, which I'm glad they kept in with Anakin.
Yeah.
Well, there was one
that was the stupidest part of the. Why are you doing that, Anakin? You arrogant, stupid fuck! You can't just jump a little bit and then rush him up the hill. You gotta try and jump over him. What are you doing?
Well, like I said, that's the arrogance. He's cocky. But you got to remember
his arrogance. Yeah,
it's the arrogance of all the power he has, thinking he can do anything he wants, and this is where he fails because his overconfidence basically took him out.
More power than you can possibly imagine. Yeah. Except for the power
get to his head.
That more powerful than you could. It's funny because he's chasing this. I want to say, Padme, I don't want to die. The sort of irony is dying, becoming one with the Force, and then living effectively forever. That is the answer, not this mortal coil you're stuck in. And that's why I hate to go back to biblical, but this sort of seduction of the flesh. That's what that's the dark side.
Absolutely a Christian message behind it. There's no ifs and buts about that. I think the fact that the Force is an almighty power, that's a bit. Some people won't see that and they won't want to believe that, but I don't know whether he himself is a Christian, but
the clear corruption from choosing the dark side. You can see what happens to the people who choose that route. They clearly, physically become corrupted, right? I mean, you can see it on them plainly.
Well, it goes off the old Westerns, black hat, white hat. There's defined characteristics between the Sith and the Jedi, good and bad, evil, and so there's certainly Christian elements behind it, or religious, I'd say.
Oh, come on, living pigeon! You're not paying attention to Disney Star Wars. There is no good and evil.
Not anymore, no.
Oh.
To fuck up the Great Jedi so bad when you have a foundation for it in Knights of the Old Republic in the Grey Jedi, whether that's Darth Krayt or Jolie Bindo or any of these rad characters, and Colhauser, I know you've read the EU, the Grey Jedi, that is such a untapped resource of rad storytelling that they just have never gotten to.
They will never do it.
Yeah, there's
the thing they're talking about now is KOTOR, and I dread them doing that.
Well, you wouldn't want Disney touching any of that good stuff.
But what's funny is they get rid of the EU, and then they start bringing EU characters back.
Yeah, like Thrawn.
Because they have no idea.
The keys. It's like, hey, EU fans, you know this person, right? Remember this?
Yeah. Keys, look over here.
Yeah.
we're gonna make him fat and stupid. We're gonna change this character so everything that he does, every failure, was actually all part of the plan. Come on, that's enough.
Well, that's the ultimate allegory for Hollywood, failing upward.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You look at the story of Count Dooku, who comes from a rich family, who's trying to, get his planet where it needs to be, and he only falls with the Separatists because he doesn't like the way the Republic is basically shunning off his planet. So he has to do what he has to do. So he has to make a pact, with Palpatine, so he can go with Sidious, so he can go forward. So there's just so much. Like I said, there was just so much going on, and we just couldn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know what's everybody's go all 6 movies, ranking them, prequels and OT.
Well, start with Spider. Just go around.
I usually like the original trilogy. For me, is interchangeable, so it's usually one of those 3. Mostly, it's like Empire, and then I would go this, Phantom Menace, and then Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. My take is it's Empire. Excuse me, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, and Return of the Jedi. I put Return of the Jedi last because, as Gary says, it's a 50-50 movie. You get great points with Luke and Vader and the Emperor. Some of the battle scenes, but then with the Ewoks and the Jabba's palace, it just goes out the window.
Okay, for me, yeah, pretty much the same. Apart from my favourite is the Ewoks film. Unparalleled genius film, that is. Hang gliders in space, I loved it. No, it's Empire, Revenge, Star Wars, and then the rest are interchangeable, realistically. They're all about as good as each other.
Yeah, I tend to go Empire, Star Wars, and depending on my mood, it's either Revenge or Return. It's currently it's Revenge, and then it's Return, then Phantom Menace, and then I guess Clones. I mean that's
fair.
543612.
That's my phone number.
So I gotta go Revenge, and then Star Wars, and Return of the Jedi, Empire, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones.
Interesting.
Okay. Revenge, Empire, Star Wars. Oh boy. After that, Phantom, Return because of Carrie Fisher in a slave bikini, and then Attack of the Clones.
Did you just say them in the order they should have come out, Rohlin?
But yeah, that's it. Basically, it's a coin flip for me between Return of the Jedi and Attack of the Clones. But I just, like I said, the Leia in that slave bikini gives it a little bit to Return.
Yeah,
and yeah, I'm a male chauvinist. I don't care.
Oh no, she awakened a lot of people in that film.
That's okay. You own it, honestly, Roland. We'll let it slide.
Yeah.
Yep. I own it every day.
All right, Miss Mego.
I don't really know because do I do it based on what I like or what is good?
Yeah.
Because they're not all the
What
same.
you like, your own
What you
personal.
like.
Your opinion. Yeah.
Because I'll admit, Empire is probably the best movie, but it's not my favorite. It's not even top 3.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I guess I have like New Hope and Empire tied at the top, and then Phantom Menace, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones. Though I don't know if I would watch Attack of the Clones last, but it's probably the worst. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Okay.
I'm bad with tier lists. Depends on my mood.
Don't tell that to Ryan. He loves Attack of the Clones.
I love it
Really?
too.
Oh yeah.
Best fights.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I could probably quote most of it.
All right, Donna Doc.
Okay, I'm gonna go Empire. Then I'm gonna jump to Phantom Menace. I think A New Hope after that. Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and Return of the Jedi.
All right. I'm gonna go Revenge and the OG at the top, and the rest can fight it out. In all honesty,
Yeah.
yeah, like that's if I'm being honest. This if
I
we're
think
going
that's the way most
favoritism,
of it.
yeah. So Revenge, and the OG, the Star Wars. The rest can fight it out for places 3 through 6.
Okay, like that's all the films done. So, out of all the other IPs involved, including Disney, what's your favourite?
Oh,
Just the top one favourite.
I won't even discuss I won't even touch the Disney.
Yeah, do you even have a favourite?
Yep.
Yeah, that's...
All slop.
Yeah, Pigeon's just picking a fight at this point.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Pigeon's daughter trying to start
genuinely
shit.
want to know if anyone actually liked anything at all. Because
I do have Force Awakens on DVD.
yeah, I was gonna
Because
say
I
Force
think
Awakens I
immediately
quite enjoyed.
after viewing it, having not really watched Star Wars for a while, I was like, well, this could be fun. I know for a lot of people, the death of Han Solo is like it.
Yeah,
But-
that was
Oh, that really
side of
pissed
it,
me
really.
off.
Yeah, but I was
But it
kinda
was
like,
also-
well, maybe there could be something good that comes from this. Obviously,
Yeah.
they had no plan and it was terrible, but
Well, from what you could see from Force it was basically just a reboot, a rehash of A New Hope. Well, I'm sorry, New Hope, sorry, Star Wars. But yeah, I think most people will say that Han dying took everyone out of it, even though that was still following realistically along the plots of him being Obi-Wan. But they
I don't
didn't
know if
give
I've
him,
ever
they didn't
rewatched
give
it.
him the same kind
don't
of
think so.
death scene as Obi-Wan, so that didn't work for me. But out of them all of that genre, Force Awakens, I quite enjoyed when I went to see it at the time.
I would rather watch the Christmas special.
Oh, yeah, Life Day. Yeah, we'll celebrate Life Day, baby. Fuck yeah. I was going to say,
Fair.
I know I just got done trashing Ewoks, but if we're talking not mainline, of the mainline 6 Star Wars films, for me, the guilty pleasure was Battle for Endor. That's the thing I think that's the strongest out of
Is the first one Caravan of Fate or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, and that one was
I quite
fine, but-
enjoyed that when it came out as a kid.
But you know what? Both of those I think, are better than anything Disney's done.
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah, but then let me rephrase. The Taranowski micro series is the best.
Oh, yeah,
The movie.
yeah.
Not
Okay,
not seen
no,
it. I'll find it.
I retract my
Tartakovsky.
statement. I'll go with Colhauser. The Gennady Tartakovsky stuff is brilliant stuff.
What about games? I mean,
KOTOR,
I've already
easy.
obviously said KOTOR.
Yeah,
Easy.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, because I was
Bounty
looking
Hunter
at
game too. The one with
Yeah.
Django Fett. That's
Yeah,
a
one.
good
Yeah,
game.
one. I prefer.
Oh, Bounty Hunter's good.
Yeah,
Battlefront,
right.
which I still play today.
You know, Shadows of the
Absolutely.
Empire wasn't bad for what it was. I know it was kind of on rails, but I thought the old Dash Rendar storyline was, and you know,
Shadows of the Empire was good.
yeah,
that's
Shadow.
fun.
I really like that.
The N64 version is the one I
yeah.
played.
Battlefield
but yeah.
2 is quite good as a single player experience, but as a multiplayer, it's much the same.
Because you get the 501st perspective. But
Yeah.
you know, I always said for Return of the Jedi, if you had Commander Cody on Endor, Empire would have won that battle. Star Wars would have ended. Done.
And Cody and his entire 212th Attack Battalion would have just wiped the
Yep.
floor with them.
Would have wiped
All
out
they-
the
all they-
rebels, would have wiped out everybody, and it would have been done. Because those guys, they go in with overwhelming force. You got to remember too.
Yeah,
Attack of the Clones, they dropped down 200,000 troops.
yeah.
200,000. So,
To be fair, all the AT-ATs had to do was fire downwards to have won that war. So you know,
well, they had one AT-AT on Endor. Where did it go? It
Right.
disappeared.
yeah.
Well, and they blame Hoth on Veers. He's just following orders. Really, it's Ozzel before Vader kills him and appoints Piet. But really, those were set in motion by Ozzel, who was headstrong, and I know Veers gets a lot of crap for it, but he's doing the best of the job with what he's got.
I mean, let's be fair. They could have fired from space from a destroyer and taken out Hoth.
Well, no, the shield active, they couldn't.
Well, yeah. Well, I suppose so. I suppose it is.
Because Battle of Hoth should have been at least 45 minutes, not 10 minutes. That was way too short for a Battle of Hoth. That should have been at least half hour to an hour. That should have been. And this is why one of the games I tell people to go watch, Galactic Contention. It's just nothing but clones and separatists going at it. You will not find better Star Wars. Like even Ryan, I told Ryan about it. Ryan watches it. He goes, "Oh my God, where'd this come from?" Like this is amazing because when you get something made by the fans, they're hungry for it, and that's what they want. And we don't get that anymore. That's why we always have to keep going back to previous. We're not going forward because everything is just dog shit.
And that's what Disney is missing. And real talk, like not tooting our own fucking horns, but all this conversation we've just had on this stream and the previous streams, geeks, fucking nerds hashing shit out and talking stuff, is way better than any fucking thing Disney has come up with.
I can guarantee between us we could all come up with one idea now that would blow away anything like the Acolyte. Just a simple storyline.
And I could go to the bathroom and create a better storyline. Give me 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's fandom, that's why. It's people like, even from a fucking self-proclaimed normie like me, can come up with better stuff. You know what I mean? Just for the enjoyment of the show. Because we like it and love it so much. Like, they just have no fucking soul. That's what it is. It's fucking soulless.
The agenda over actual story.
The fact we all know names of characters who are on screen for all of 3 minutes, or people that maybe aren't even on screen, the fact that we know the names and the bios of these characters should speak volumes of just how into the IP we are. And to just throw all that away is beyond ridiculous.
But we're the fans.
We know the
They'll never
names
listen
of
to
the
us.
score in the movies. We know friggin' Yub Nub. Like, do we know any of the music in the Disney trilogy?
Couldn't tell you.
John Williams did stuff. No,
Every single one of us in here as well has got their Star Wars name, which is your last name backwards and the name of the first, street. And they don't understand that side of things. I'm not asking anyone to do that, obviously, because you've been doxing your last name. But
I think last year.
I'll
think about
kind
last
of
year
counter.
when, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, think about last year when Revenge of the Sith came out for re-release for the anniversary. Look how much money it pulled in, and what did they do? Well, we can't get embarrassed by this. We got to pull it.
Yeah. Yep. Did anybody go see that
limited release? Yeah.
They are aware. It was awesome.
What does everyone think about the remakes, the original, like when they added all the CGI? Because I've got.
Not a
Roland,
fan.
what were you going to say?
Don't like them.
They are aware that this is a dead end. I mean, they were aware of it last year. I think everybody here saw the streaming for May of 2025. I think everybody was aware of that. All the top things for Star Wars were all the old stuff outside of Maul, Andor, which was actually being released at that time.
Yeah, I was going to say. It was
and then there was one
moment,
cartoon, I think, that had been released. But everything else, Disney is completely aware that they're trapped in all this. And they're even more aware. And inside, they've got to be losing their minds. Mandalorian and Grogu is about to make $9 million this weekend. $9 million this weekend, the third weekend of release.
So they're not going to clip. They're not going to clip 300 domestically, then, if that's the case.
No, they're not.
No,
and they may pull. I think I said if it hit under 10 million this weekend, they might pull. This is embarrassing. I don't know if they can endure it. It is not going to hit 300 million. It is not going to get beyond Solo, a Star Wars story. Hell, it isn't going to get past fucking, what was that, Poppers, that stupid cartoon. I mean, there's a ton of shit this movie is not going to get past.
Poppers
I
is
honestly-
something else. Although it is Pride Month.
I honestly think they were relying on merch for this, and they were relying on merch alone. They thought, well, you know, Grogu's going to make us so much money, and no,
This movie took too long.
My
People don't
female
care
friends
anymore.
aren't talking about it.
Masters of the Universe, they had so many Grogu popcorn buckets still. There's so much Mando and Grogu merch left. It was insane.
And the problem is the reason why, and listen, Disney won't get rid of it because the OT movies, they make too much money for DVD sales and everything else. But the problem is too, Hasbro's been kind of caught in a bind because they're making all these new toys, which is not selling. Like they're selling, They're selling Acolyte doll figures at Ollie's for 65 cents. They can't push this stuff.
Still too much.
And they're not selling there either.
Yeah, it's not
Walmart.
selling there.
I saw yesterday. Walmart has the Mando and Grogu toys and stuff already on clearance.
Yeah, that's because they put one of the Grogu dolls before the movie came out. They had that ugly ass Grogu doll for $600. Who's going to buy that thing?
What?
Yeah,
that was the
talking, walking, sort of robotic.
Talking, whatever.
They want that walking around and talking to you.
You know, to what Roland was saying, I just looked. Backrooms is going to make $24 million this weekend in its second week, and a Star Wars movie is making $9 million.
That's because the Star Wars movie, I believe today, as said, lost another 1,000 theaters today.
Yeah.
Because of everything else that's coming out. Yeah.
Well, Obsession was made for what it was, £900,000, or so probably just over 1.1 million.
Like 750,000.
Just under $1 million.
Yeah,
just under $1 million US.
How much has that made now?
I think 80 or 100, I think.
100 and
it's got over
152 domestic.
Yeah, 100.
Wow. Worldwide, it's 224 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, this is insane because we have all these movies out there doing so much better than Mando and Grogu. We're not nobody's even talking about Mando.
No.
I mean, there's a Star Wars movie in theaters that nobody's even talking about it.
And they can't blame the timing. They can't blame the timing because it's summer basically. So
it's perfect timing.
A summer blockbuster.
But it's a Star Wars movie for nobody. It's a Star Wars movie that people don't care about.
It's not for nobody. It's for wine mums.
Well,
sorry.
I don't know.
It basically is.
Are they going to get in the car and go to the theater to see it, the Wine Moms, or do they just maybe put it on when they're at
crash
home?
On the way. They just crash on the way.
You know, I remember going. We went when Phantom Menace came out. We went to see a 4 a.m. showing.
Wow.
4 a.m. The theater was packed. People were in cosplay at 4 a.m. What does that tell you? There was hype, and that's what people wanted. When came out,
wanted to see these films.
People just
anybody who's married embarrassed the shit out of their spouse, taking their lightsaber and shit to the theater for the prequels. I know I did.
Could you imagine if you had a Boba Fett show where he's just laying waste to everybody in a bounty hunter show?
Yeah, I was so.
That's what the fuck we should have had. That's what we should have had. They did get us dirty with that fucking show. And don't get me wrong, bro. I love Ming-Na Wen. That's my bitch. I love her since fucking Street Fighter. But
the cavalry and shield, brilliant.
What the fuck is she even doing in that show, bro? It's the Boba Fett show. Make it about fucking Boba shit. In there, fucking slaying fools, collecting fucking scalps. Like, that's the fucking show right there. It's that fucking simple.
2 episodes without Boba Fett. They had Mando in it.
Yeah.
In his own show.
In his own fucking show, bro.
Some of the better Mando episodes that they made.
Yeah, there was only one scene I really liked in Boba Fett, and this will be divisive. It was getting out of the Sarlacc pit, because at least it explained how he gets out. But I could understand why people were probably hating that. Well, it's because of his armor.
Well, that was in the EU books too.
Yeah,
I was that in the books. Oh, well, that's fair enough then. But I quite enjoyed that scene. The worst scenes in it was good. But then I think the first thing I saw in it that I was like, oh god, it was the Vespa scooters,
Oh.
scooter gang.
What
It
the
just,
fuck was that?
that just took me straight
all
out.
about?
How far have we fought? We were just talking on the last one about the fucking Solar Sailor style. I haven't forgotten. You owe me 4 Solar Sailor for our collection. But we were just talking about the ship porn on the fucking last fucking show. Great fucking ships, designs, and everything. And then you get to the Boba Fett show, we get fucking Vespa scooter. Fuck out of here.
Yeah,
You fucking clown.
I think that's the moment when I realised the Star Wars is dead.
So those are all terrible scenes. Getting back to Revenge of the Sith, what do you think is the most beautiful scene or the most impactful scene in Revenge of the Sith? I'm just curious. I know what mine is, but Spider?
Order 66 for me.
I like the opening, falling right into the shit. Everything's going fucking sideways. Huge fucking battle. Everything's just going on at once. Great fucking opening scene. That'll be mine.
Spider.
It's tough. I mean, there is a lot in this one. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go with the easy one, and the last scene of when they're looking at the twin sons. You know that there is hope, and we're gonna roll right into Luke, Han, and Leia.
Yeah,
and that music hits really well.
So I'm just gonna throw in two. When Commander Cody and the 212, when they're rushing in to help Obi-Wan, when they're just rushing in on Utapau, going hard in, watching the clones just going left, right, and center, watching the ATTs like drop in, and then my second one would be, it was a deleted scene. I wish they had it in there, but is when Grievous killed what's her name?
Shakti.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that would have, they should have left that in.
Again, for me, Order 66, because at that point you realise it's over. Anakin's not coming back. That's it. It's done. And just everything around that for me was like, okay, now it's going into what we know and love. There's no coming back. So for me, scene-wise, but looks-wise, like for the actual scene, I'd probably agree with Spider. Like the end scene was quite powerful. I enjoyed.
Yeah, I got to go with. I mean, really, that whole point or the whole part with Anakin and Obi-Wan in their lightsaber battle, but specifically probably the part where Obi-Wan cuts him down, because that's just kind of the final ending of the relationship between those two.
I have the higher ground.
Yeah, and he tells him while he's burning, he's like, "I hate you."
Yeah,
and he's like, "I loved you like a brother, Anakin."
Darth?
Yeah, I'd have to say, this whole opening sequence to me is just is George Lucas just putting on a clinic in visual storytelling as you fly through this battle in the upper atmosphere of Coruscant. You have what you've never seen before in Star Wars, but you've probably read about in the EU, is these capital ships side by side just blasting at one another like old galleons, And it's just you follow this continuous shot with Obi-Wan and Anakin and their ships going through here, and it just builds and builds and builds and builds and has everything, including the kitchen sink, obviously, in that. And then it just sort of it goes, and then you have them landing on the ship, and then there's a little bit of reprise. Then it's action again. It's sort of this continuous 30 minutes of something you've never seen before in a Star Wars film, and that's what I think George is so good at, being the maker of this whole thing. He's able to look at this and say, what can I do in this movie that I've never given people before in the previous movies?
Sure.
And I just think that's incredible, that opening.
Yeah, and going back to talking about how everything happens so fast, I think for the first two acts, it does speed up, and I feel like they did that intentionally, since they're not going to put out the 4-hour cut, but they want to have the most time in that third act to get what the main points they want to get across are.
I think for me, and I know this might come as a shock, the scene with Anakin and Palpatine at the opera, where he's explaining the tragedy of Darth Plagueis, and you've got that really kind of haunting score, and they're watching those bubble dance thing going on. I thought that was so impactful and beautifully crafted. For me, that's my favorite scene. And when he's like, hey, "Is it possible to learn this?" And the Palpatine's like literal turn, "Not from a Jedi. It's not." I don't know why that scene.
Hayden does some really good acting, I think, in that scene. It really stuck out to me. You could see him thinking and processing what he was hearing.
Yes. Very well crafted, beautiful visuals. The score is phenomenal because it's a harbinger. Definitely, you can almost see with the score. And again, John Williams is the master of leitmotif and dictating sort of your stream of consciousness and inner monologue via a score. And for me, that was the scene I loved the most. I know it's not frenetic, it's not anything, but that's the one that I really like.
It's just another one of those scenes where he's planting that seed in Anakin's head. And also, like, whenever he says "not from a Jedi," it's kind of in that, Emperor voice in a way. It's a little bit different than how we normally talk.
It's where you realize
different
he
timbre.
is Palpatine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Roland?
I actually like the beginning of the confrontation between Yoda and Palpatine. Not when Palpatine starts throwing the Senate at him, but the beginning of that. Especially like when the Emperor's ready to like run out and Yoda gets in front of him and he's like, "If so strong you are, why do you flee?" I thought that whole thing right there was very impactful. Just showing the difference between the two characters. And perhaps it was another thing, another commentary on good and evil. And when good confronts evil with strength, evil basically tries to flee. So, and then, like I said, it kind of went south when they got into the Senate chamber and Palpatine's fucking the Senate at him.
I did like that there was more Yoda in this movie.
Of course, if he was in Britain, he'd throw bins at him.
Favorite scene, Michael?
I don't know. It might be towards the end, same as Christian Rocker said, the final confrontation with Anakin and Obi-Wan. I really like the end, Obi-Wan at the end of this movie. So kind of all those little scenes where he goes to the Jedi Temple where he realizes that Anakin has to confront him. And I just thought Ewan McGregor did a really good job. And I think Obi-Wan is probably one of the most popular characters in the whole series with people. Not just from the original movies, but because of the prequels as well.
Yeah, that's why we all wanted an Obi-Wan series.
Yeah,
I
watched 2 episodes and then I gave up.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't have this one. Did it first.
So maybe like the last part of the movie, like scenes that Obi-Wan is in.
Cool. Donna?
I gotta agree that it was the ending battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin for a number of reasons. Just the physical intensity of the choreography. It like perfectly mirrors the anger and turmoil of the two characters. It just does it perfectly. And of course, it's the emotional climax of the movie for me. So I think definitely that scene.
All right. I'm changing mine. Doing R2D2 soaks the 2 droids in grease and sets them ablaze. Fucking gangsta. Great gangsta. Just soaks them in grease and lights the match. Fuck them.
Yeah, that is quite dark.
We talked about video games earlier. We all have to admit, in Battlefront, Special 2, that opening scene when they fly into the bay and then jump out and start fighting. To be able to do that in a video game, you guys have to admit how fucking cool it was to, I'm gonna blow the, there we go, baby.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm gonna land inside the bay, and I'm gonna take this thing out from the inside out to experience. Cool as KOTOR was, that is one of my top 10, like, I can do this in a video game moments I've ever experienced.
I also got to say too, the opening scene of Revenge of the Sith with the Ventnor Star Destroyer just coming in the sun, just shining off of it. That's some really good gear point, because just the way that was a great shot, and especially with the drums coming in when it's just coming in, like, just, you know, that was a great shot.
It's like it's unbelievable. The original,
soundtrack
the original
is the-
Star Wars as well. The opening scene for that is just insanely. I don't know if any of you remember watching that first scene, because you don't know what it is. You know it's some sort of ship in space, you know, and it's just so long, and you realise how big it is, and then you see you know the fight that's happening. Where is this coming from? And it jumps straight into. I think that was one of the best opening scenes of any film ever.
And what I love about I dislike about I love the soundtrack, but what I dislike that they did was they didn't include those drums of war in the opening, which bothered the shit out of me, because that really gets you into the whole thing. It just takes, the song starts and it takes you right into the battle.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many good pieces in Revenge of the Sith. You just don't you don't know where to go, because you know there's just so many parts that, you know.
There's also another deleted scene that I wish they would have kept in, because it would have really helped plot and Anakin's turn better. It's beautiful looking too when they're in Palpatine's office, and Anakin is standing over his shoulder, kind of like his guardian, and it's like a really red orangey sunset. It's like right at twilight, and Padme comes in with the other senators. I forget the name of the committee that they're part of.
2000 petition of 2000.
Yeah, and they're trying to say, can we end this war? They're vying for peace, and Palpatine's not giving in, and Anakin's just standing there not saying anything, and Padme's looking at him like, are you just going to let him walk all over me like this? And he doesn't do anything. And I think that was a really powerful scene.
Can you imagine Spider if Palpatine said, well, you were the guys who appointed Jar Jar to it, so don't blame me.
That would be
great.
Jar Jar is the one that gave him the emergency powers, therefore he is responsible for all.
It's your fault.
And
There you go. Another reason we don't like Jar Jar. There you go.
And the setting of the sun is to justify the loss, you know, the Jedi starting to basically lose power.
I might change my answer for the scene that I think, because Padme and Anakin looking out at watching the sun literally set on the Republic, that was such a powerful scene. Yeah, that might, okay. 1A, 1B, those two.
Another
I do
great
have a
scene in this,
question. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about, or how do you feel about Padme in this movie, especially her ending? I'm a little unsatisfied, even though I know she needed to die. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I thought it was lame.
I think to die in
I was always
childbirth
unsatisfied.
in such a technological
Well, it wasn't even physical. That was
She
the
died of
part
a
that
broken
bothered me.
heart.
Yeah, but she also her last words was, there's good in him. I know. So she had hope, but she gave up anyway.
I think
it was weird to me.
Mego, she was so broken. Finding
Well,
out
her babies are right there.
I know, but
you killed younglings when she says that. Like,
I guess so.
Like when the fact that, you know, you gotta remember too, Anakin basically called her a separatist in one of the scenes. She is getting. You gotta remember too, she's very naive, because she doesn't care basically what he's doing, but she's just like following. She's basically lovesick. She loves him. She wants to be with him, but then she's finding out all these things that he's doing. Even though she finds out, come away with me. She's broken. She is literally a broken woman there's just no chance of, like Anakin, there's no chance for her to go back. She is.
All the way through is I can fix him.
I do have to say at this point, that you all are defending Padme like a woman typically would, whereas me and Megan are like, nah, man, that was
Fuck
lame.
that bitch.
Yeah. I just,
This is lame.
she's
No.
a woman of courage this whole time.
no,
we've
she-
seen her.
She
And
is an
it's
I can
weird
fix
that
him.
she
I can
had
fix him,
hope
girl.
I can
and
fix him.
children and gave
Yeah.
up to me.
Okay,
And
she's
she
a woman of
literally-
courage. She may be a woman of courage, but she hasn't. Okay, there's basically a universal conflict going on that she's basically a part of, where a lot of the stuff comes through her, you know. And remember, it wasn't just her, you know. It was her trusted ally, Palpatine, who was she was a part of that as well. So a lot of things was going down, and for her being at a young age, being in politics, everything just went downhill. And then, of course, getting involved with Anakin, it was a total shit show.
She denies the responsibilities for love, basically.
Going
she
back to
literally just laid down and died. She had 2 children
Well,
to take care of.
okay,
It
but
would have been
She had
better
hope for Anakin,
if she had
and she
some
said,
sort of,
I'm tired, and she laid down and died.
yeah, if she had an
There is a
infection she
medical
was fighting,
diagnosis for dying from a broken heart.
or Anakin
Okay.
had
Can
injured
happen.
her in some
Can
way
happen.
when he like force choked her. Like that would make more sense to me that her
Right.
body just couldn't fight it because of the
Yeah,
broken
but that would have
part,
killed
but
the kids. That's the
I
problem.
cannot.
yes.
not at that
How
point.
can you
They
do
could have got it.
something without?
C-section,
How do you
whatever.
do that? The kids have to live, and she has to die. So how
I
do you?
know.
How do you?
Remember,
I
Okay,
know.
I do have to stipulate, because I
trapped.
heard somebody say there was no diagnosis for a broken heart. I have actually had a set of patients where one went to the hospital and he ended up dying, and his wife did the exact same thing in the nursing home. Nobody told her
Yeah, I mean,
anything
it
about
Oh, I
it.
believe
It
that.
happened,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
my
So
grandparents
I
on my
can't-
father's
I
side.
cannot crack on that, but the problem with that is Anakin wasn't dead, so we can't do that. Died of a broken
Wasn't
heart.
he?
She said she-
Wasn't he though?
I mean, the
Well,
man
she
is
said her
gone.
last words are, "There's
According
good
to
in him."
Obi-Wan,
I
he's
know.
dead.
She
Good
had hope
man
at
that
the
was
end.
your father was dead.
Debbie Reynolds died of a broken heart after.
Yes.
Carrie
Yeah,
Fisher died.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely happened.
I
I said
wanna
it
go
happened
back
to
to
my
what Roland-
grandparents.
I want to go back to what Roland said when you talked about gravitas and how watching Revenge of the Sith after Empire, because if you watch it beforehand, Luke's "No, I am your father," it totally takes the wind out of that. I think Padme's death and her saying there's still good in him. Okay, we think about how it impacts Luke, but Leia, when he goes, Luke goes, "I never knew my mother," and she goes, "I vaguely remember my mother. She was strong but sad." Padme's death does have a huge impact on Leia's trajectory, and as the leader of the rebellion, does she become the woman that she becomes without her remembering her mother? And it is paradoxical since they're twins, and Luke can't remember it all, but somehow Leia does. Forgetting the sort of silliness of that, I think Padme's death definitely has much more of an impact on
Oh, she
Leia.
definitely needed to die, I think.
Oh, of course she had to
but
die.
it was just,
Yeah.
I felt maybe it wasn't the most satisfying to me. Even when I was like 15 and first saw the movie, I was just kind of like,
Sure.
oh, okay.
I just that gravitas, applying the logic that Roland was going with, I think it applies here too with Padme's death and the way Leia remembers her.
Mhm.
I think it very much is applicable here.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
as impactful as I think he intended for it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it goes out with a whimper, sort of. It's like it's coming and it happens, but there's no real, as you said, gravitas behind her actual death. I think what they should have done is have her die from not knowing she's having twins, and she dies from that. Have giving birth to Leia, and that causes hemorrhaging
Well,
or whatever.
it-
that would have made more sense to me.
But too, we don't know the effects that with his chokehold on her
Yeah.
did to her body.
And that would make
especially-
sense to me.
That's
but
what
they
I-
say
that's
that
what I
there's
thought
nothing
killed her.
physically wrong with her.
Yeah.
But
Right,
but
the,
as well,
the bot says there's nothing wrong with her, but she's
She just
dying.
lost the will to live.
So there's
Right.
there's no damage done. So it can't be
No.
from the force choke. Now,
Exactly.
if you wanted to rewrite the script and say, well, this was done, we don't know, we don't know how this
There's
was
been
done
some effect
to
or
her.
something.
Yeah,
Well-
because of what Anakin did.
Yeah.
Then you've got something, but the problem is like I said, you basically have to kill the mother without killing the kids, and that's not an easy thing to do
Yeah.
in a story. because if you do something physical, it's most likely going to affect the kids, and it probably affects the childbirth. So, like I said, he basically kind of wrote himself into a corner on that one, and we get a very unsatisfactory death scene, basically.
Well, yeah, I was curious what you guys thought.
I think Anakin should have killed her. He should have just straight up killed her.
Padme still could have been injured, something like that, and they could have saved the babies because that does happen. You know, car wrecks,
cut them out,
shooting, whatever. Something could have happened to her instead of her just going, "Oh, I've been this big, strong woman all this time, but fuck it, I'm gonna lay down and die."
Well, I don't. It doesn't bother me the way she went, because if he ends up killing her, that just makes him. That just, besides the younglings, he's just killed his two children, and he will never recover. And that's where you see, if they went that route, Anakin he's just lost his mind. So,
and also, like, you know, at the very end of the movie, whenever he becomes Darth Vader and he wakes up and he's like, "Where's Padme?"
Yeah,
and he's like, "You killed her." So, you know, another manipulation there. But kind of go back to
he's led to believe he has killed her. So,
but kind of go back to like an impactful scene really. And talking about Padme, but like whenever she's like, "This is how Liberty dies," with thunderous applause. Kind of a small scene, but I feel like that's also a pretty very impactful and one I've quoted in real life situations.
Well, and remember too, when she says to Obi-Wan, "You're going to kill him, aren't you?" And then, you know, he's like, "Anakin's the father. I'm so sorry." You got to wonder what's going through her head now, and that's why she leaves to meet up with him. So she's going through a lot of she's going through a lot right now.
She does mention that he goes, "You brought him here to kill me." She goes, "No, we want to help you." She does. I mean, she's not sure. She's hoping she can sort of, you know, play mediator in this fight between brothers, essentially. But yeah, the force choke. I don't know. Part of me is like, yeah, if he pops her head like a grape, like the mountain on, you know, Pedro Pascal, that I think he loses his mind if that.
Yeah, that'd have been too far. It should have just been he's choking her, doesn't realise, and she just goes that little bit too far. It's not.
It would have been gruesome and crazy.
Look what happens when she lands on Mustafar. She's sitting there pondering what am I going to say to him?
Yeah,
you know. And then when she sees him, she goes running out, and it's just like. I think she's just been tormented so much where she's just like, you know what, whatever happens next, it's I'm either going to fix this or I'm going to go out. And she ended up going out. So she couldn't help him. She couldn't help him.
I kind of wish she would have died before naming her babies, like, and seeing them. Because I would think that would give her a little bit of motivation to, like, I got to protect my children. I need to take care of them, raise them, that sort of thing. She sees them, each one names them, and then says there's good in him, and then gone. Maybe
that's what bothered me. Maybe
that's what bothered me was she you know, took the time to name them and everything before she decided, you know, peace out.
What was she going to do though? She had
be their mother.
She's already getting to the breaking point. You got to remember, this is like the leader of the. You got to remember, this is like the leader of the alliance, the rebellion, and she's.
So she should have been stronger.
She couldn't be stronger. There's no way she could be stronger.
That's what Paul is saying. Like she was literally at her end, and y'all are talking like she should have, you know, stepped up or whatever because of the kids and stuff. She had nothing left. She literally had nothing left to give. That was the last she had to give, was their name and putting that in their head that there is still good in him. Then that was her parting gift, as it were.
Like, think about this: when someone comes up to you and accuses your husband of killing children, what does that do to your mindset?
Yeah.
Especially
but you still have your own children.
To give birth.
Yeah.
Like that. It's she.
I get as somebody who has children, we do think like that.
Okay, no, I get it, but like I said, she's in an impossible predicament because, like I said, there is a global, there is a universal conflict going on that she's basically a part of, and so there's so much happening, and like I said, even you can even go to Bella Organa, like he's got to like basically take off because he's pretty much on a hit list now.
Yep.
There's
so it is
much going on in this conflict.
Yeah, that line. So it is. Sorry, sir. It's over. So it is.
Yeah, it is.
God, that's such a good line.
Looking, I guess, kind of deeper into this, do you think that maybe in her head that if she lived and took care of these children, they would be at risk?
100%.
They would have been hunted down. Yeah. All of them would have been killed.
Like she knew that she had to let them go.
Yeah. The Emperor knew of their existence. They would be done.
Correct.
Yeah, there would be no hiding.
The kids are alive. They're being hunted, and she knows if I die. And no offense, I mean, I get it. I get that she's she's not a good enough mother, allegedly. But yeah, she knows if I die, the only people that know they're alive are the people on this ship, and that the Empire, just like Sidious says, it seems that you killed her, and in your anger, you killed her. So they think, oh, yep, they're gone. So it's a threat you don't have to chase.
And like whenever we're saying like dying of a broken heart, I mean, what if that's also knowing that she's giving up her children? That doesn't have to be just Anakin losing him. I mean, she knows that she's losing her children as well.
So basically, you're saying it was for the greater plot of the movie, because when they zoom in on her belly during the funeral procession, they're indicating that they're implying that she was still pregnant when she died.
Correct. 100%.
Yeah, the children were not
which is why it would have made more sense if she'd have actually died before giving birth, and they'd have cut them out.
They weren't zooming in on the belly. They were zooming in on the necklace that Anakin gave her.
Both can be true.
But it also had the belly underneath it, so.
Yeah, but it wasn't the belly.
They definitely could have handled the ending better. I think we can all admit that.
Yeah, like I do think she probably did need to die. It's always sort of just seemed a little simple for me.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I've never had children, but I don't know.
Being in her position, what she's been doing, how she's doing it, where Anakin is, what Anakin's doing, it was just so much for. Because put it this
way, she's overwhelmed.
Yeah. What happens if Vader now finds out that she's alive? What does that do?
I mean, I don't know that she had time really to think about it that way, but maybe.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if
that's true.
If she had found out that if Vader found out that she was alive, what does Vader do? What does that do to the Empire?
I think it's not so much Vader finding out; it's Palpatine.
We all agree that we all agree she needed to die. It's just the kind of meh.
I think it was perfectly fine the way she went, and I think anyone else, she was in a position where she couldn't go out any other way. She couldn't.
I mean, am I bothered by how it ended with her and everything? No, not really.
No.
But I do see the arguments that y'all are making of how, it was not the best, but it was something that never really crossed my mind as to this could have been better, but, it does make sense.
She had no other choice where she was stuck between a rock and a hard place, basically. Because think about this, when you meet up with your man and and then you're watching him choke you, what do you do?
No, I'm not going to say.
One thing that bothers me about this.
I can't say I've ever been a battered woman, but
I always thought the better way to kill her was Anakin and Obi-Wan he's like, you brought him here to kill me, and they're getting fired up. I thought, and I know she does because she's not in between him. Anakin is like, he just gets angry at her. Have them start their fight. Have her jump in the middle to be like, no, stop it. And Anakin accidentally gets her through the chest, not the belly, because obviously you need to keep the kids alive.
Right.
Get her. This is back when lightsabers.
I was just about to say, she didn't even fucking kill him.
But knowing that, if Anakin accidentally stabs her in the chest with a lightsaber, and then she can look at him and like even grab his face, like what did you do? And then have her tell Obi-Wan there's still good in him, even as she's laying there dying. It's a much more impactful death. They can save the kids. Anakin knows he killed her. He's crushed. He's devastated. I think that's a better I think that plays off better. I don't know what
Do
you.
you remember that part
Except,
when they had
except
that
the
argument?
kids would be dead if she was stabbed through the chest with a lightsaber.
Not necessarily. Not
Not
No,
necessarily.
they
necessarily.
would. If
And
you
she
look
would have
at,
been this
if you look
era.
at what a
Like 4,000
lightsaber actually
degrees.
does to your innards when you get
Internals, yeah.
stabbed,
Yes,
when
shoving a
one-
nuclear reactor inside you is not going to be
Yeah.
conducive to.
It would depend. They
No,
they
they
could have like
die.
got her in. They could have
Everybody-
got her in the
everything
arm. They
dies.
could have got her somewhere. She could have
Yeah.
been injured.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Some of
why
the
for me
point.
it made more sense of the Force joke, did it? He just accidentally went a little bit too far, you know.
You know, the
But
biggest
go back
problem
to-
is
go
that
back
she
to
looks
one of the
doesn't look
scenes.
like she's 9 months pregnant with twins. She looks like
No.
she's like 6
Exactly.
months pregnant.
No.
That's
And
pro-
go
that's
back to
probably
the whole
another
time,
problem I have.
And that's what bothers me the most is that she's walking around with this tiny little belly. Oh yeah, for the whole movie, and then it's like twins. Really? Seriously?
You got
I
to
don't
remember
buy
though,
it.
she's not human.
didn't
It's a different race. So
She's
Yeah, but
new
I
those
can let
babies,
that go.
those babies had to be an easy 9-10 pound babies. So when you're having twins,
well, yeah.
oh girl should have had a bigger belly than that.
And one.
And you gotta
She
remember
didn't eat
too.
enough. They should
Remember
have
the
fattened her up.
Remember the scene when he when they're sitting down in the apartment when when she's telling Anakin, you know, this war has to end, and then the first thing he says, you're sounding like a separatist. You know, she's already getting, you know, inklings. It's like, what's going on here? What's happening? You know, and because she
Don't
wants
ask
this
me to
war
do
to end.
this.
You know, a lot is happening that she's dealing with. So that's why I have no problem with the way she went out, because like I said, this is a universal conflict that's basically on the verge of just going insane, where you know, Palpatine's trying to get this to a close so he can continue on doing what he's doing, and you know, and he needs Anakin to be there because they took out Dooku, they took out Grievous. Anakin's the one that's going to balance everything. So, and what else can, you know? She had to face him. If she thought that she couldn't face him, she wouldn't have went to Mustafar.
So,
yeah, I think I'm at Colhauser on this one, man.
I think what the situation is, no matter what, as soon as she walks out of, if she survives it, as soon as she walks out of there, she's got a target on her back. She's dead anyway.
And she has to give up her children, like you guys said, anyway.
Yeah, I think it's more of a case of why it's so divisive. She doesn't die medically; she dies mentally, and a lot of people just
Right. I think that was the main
happen.
problem I have with it.
Yeah.
The children are a threat to Anakin. That's why, you know, it's like, because if he knew that the children survived, you know, they would have went after them right away. But he wouldn't
have gone after him because he's still at that point has got love for the children, and that's why he says at the end, "Where is she?" It's Palpatine.
He would have gone after them to train them.
Yeah, Palpatine would have convinced
to go
him
after Luke. Look what he did to go after Luke, and look at all the resources that were like basically going through the asteroid field where Star Destroyers are getting blown up.
That's never to kill him. It's never to kill him though. It's to turn
it's
him.
to capture him and turn him. And rule of two, because Palpatine knows if he can get rid of Vader, he can have Luke take his spot.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Vader even proposes, we'll depose the Emperor, rule of two. We'll depose him, and you and I get to rule. So everybody has their own agenda.
And Anakin said the same thing to Padme. You know, I can take over. We can rule the galaxy together.
Now, it wasn't in like
and when she said that to him, she's probably going, "What are you saying?" Like when she said to him, "You've lost your mind."
And Heir to the Empire, the books, EU, wasn't it? They wanted Han and Leia's kids, I believe it was.
Yeah,
and I feel like
Jason's the one they're going after.
Yeah, so I feel like that would be kind of like the situation here.
It was Jason that they were trying to turn, right?
Yeah,
he does turn.
It's been a while since I've read it, but
yeah. Now, hypothetical thing: what would Obi-Wan have done if Anakin came to him instead of like going with Palpatine and everything? Do you think Obi-Wan would have defied Jedi Council rules and actually helped him?
No. He'd have hid him under his cloak and got him out of there.
Sounds pretty good.
Come on, Anakin. Get in here.
Moments.
That's funny.
So you don't think he would have helped Anakin.
No, I don't, he wasn't
Obi-Wan's
strong
too
enough
much
at
by
that
the
point.
book.
Yeah,
See, I actually think he would.
I think he'd have
Obi-Wan's
tried
by the
to.
book.
Mm-hmm.
He cares
I
about
think he'd have
Padme
tried
too.
to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like he always knew there was something with Anakin and Padme, and like says like Anakin's the father, and he never said anything about it till then, and he told Anakin, "I loved you like a brother," and I know he's by the book, but there is something special with him and Anakin, and obviously he would have done something different. He would have done his own thing, but I think he wouldn't have just, Jedi Council, we got to take care of this.
Well, he's very scared of what happening to Qui-Gon Jinn happening to him. Qui-Gon Jinn, sorry, happening to him. So I think there's that behind it as well. He doesn't want to let him down. He doesn't want to die before he can train him, maybe.
Yeah, Christian, I agree with you. But the other part is that Obi-Wan is like, you know what? Through this stuff, I get it. I'll help you. But when it comes down to the Jedi Council and everything else, that's when Obi-Wan's going to be like, well, I don't think so. We got, I got to be by the book on this.
Yeah, that's the trouble with Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's the prototypical Jedi Guardian. That is his archetype. That is, I mean, he is. If you could write a sort of a thesis on what between the Templar, the Sentinel, and the Guardian, Obi-Wan absolutely fits the Jedi Guardian. He's not. He's rigid in the morality and the code of the Jedi, but not so much the mysticism part, because he lives in the real world and is interacting with many different people.
Yeah,
he relies too much on the committee.
Yeah, if you go back to A New Hope and you look at you look at Obi-Wan, where he's still he's sad because the way he says, and he was a good friend, about Anakin, you can tell the tormentment he had of how close he was with him, to going back now to to the prequels where he's there for him, but he's there for him to make sure he's like he's watched over, but in the grand scheme of things of this galactic war, he still has a job to do.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think he would, betray the Jedi Council and completely turn his back on them.
No.
But, I think he would have kept, Padme and Anakin's relationship a secret. And he would have done what he could within his power. But I don't think he would have been like, okay, we're abandoning the Jedi Council. It's me and you, bro. Let's do this.
No.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan tries to help him in some way.
Story, like from what everyone has to go through and where everything goes, because everything basic from Order 66, everything just starts going downhill, and you pretty much got nowhere else to go. Everyone's basically an outlaw now, where you only have so many Jedi left, and they're waiting for that right time to strike. But until then, as Yoda said, we go into hiding.
And that's why it was like a hypothetical thing. Like when Anakin's having these visions of Padme dying and all that, he's keeping that to himself and kind of with talking to Palpatine, subtly. But I feel like if he went to Obi-Wan first, I feel like he would have kept that secret about him and Padme, but also try to find a way to help him. But still being his, honorable self and not betraying anyone.
Well, even when he talks to Yoda about it, when he said, and when Yoda says someone close to you, and he's like, yes, but you figure Yoda would have at least tried to sense something, but
yeah, because how does Palpatine know exactly? Because he uses
Sith.
that to manipulate.
He's a Sith Lord.
Foresight, baby.
Okay. I was just curious. I mean, that's what I assumed, obviously, but he seems to know specifically. Or does he just feel Anakin's fear of losing Padme?
Yes. Well, so those nightmares that Anakin's having of Padme dying, that's not exactly what's going to happen, but that is one possible future. Star Wars isn't sort of a many worlds or ever interpretation of sort of a multiverse. It's more of a binary. Okay, if you go down this path, this is the future you're seeing. If you're going down this path, it might be the other. And that's why Yoda in Empire says, difficult to say what the future is, because there is always a choice. Even though you can see the future, they get visions of the future, there is a choice to be made. So what you think is going to happen, when you get to that moment, there will still be a thing. But Palpatine is confident in his, okay, I know he's afraid of losing her. I know if he goes down this path, she will die, and I can use that and parlay that to my advantage to continue him down this path. It's not a definite. And just like Vader doesn't see, Palpatine doesn't see Vader's, baby face turn at the end of Jedi. He doesn't see it because you could say he doesn't want to see it, but because of Vader's free will, he makes a hard, baby face turn there at the end.
I always assumed that it was Palpatine that were putting those dreams into his head anyway, or certainly the Sith side of the Force.
I always interpreted it as the Force. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, the Force is both, so the Force is
sure,
both
yeah.
So I think that's how I saw it. I always assumed Palpatine was doing it, but it was both the sides fighting in his head, and Palpatine was somehow manipulating it.
Well,
sure.
I mean, it's his greatest fear. It's his greatest fear realized, right? So it's like everybody, you get the two wolves in your heart, and the one that wins is the one you feed the most. So he's already feeding that fear consciously or subconsciously in his mind, and the Force, right, or the Sith side of the Force is feeding upon that and forcing these visions, as it were, into his mind, because this is his greatest fear. So it's trying to win out the battle, right? The two wolves are fighting in his heart, and it's trying to win out the battle, and it knows that by playing this against him, it'll shift to their side, right?
Yeah,
so I don't think it was Palpatine himself, but I do think it was the dark side of the Force.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Is there two sides to the Force, or is it just who uses the Force a certain way?
As far as I see, it's two sides.
Good and evil.
Yeah. It's all one. The Force is all one, but you're right. You can manipulate it one way or the other. It's still the same. All the Force is used by the Sith and by the Jedi.
In a sense, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The thing you're afraid of is going to lead you to that. You're going to go to that outcome. But you can fight it. It doesn't mean that it's absolute. Just like when Luke sees Han and Leia and he thinks they're going to die. Well, they don't die, but because Luke intervenes, Yoda tells him, yeah, that's one possible future, sure.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to change it in the Acolyte and say that was it strings or something like that, and the Force did have
what a load of horse shit.
But it was just so so far out there that it made no sense. The power of Fanny.
Now I did look this up about those dreams and stuff, and it brings up a good point here. Force precognition.
Yeah.
Like many powerful Force users, Anakin had a natural, involuntary ability to catch glimpses of the future, much like how he foresaw his mother's death on Tatooine.
Yep.
Well,
so it was the midichlorians. That's what it was. Obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's why it was such a good podcast.
It does have the highest midichlorian count.
Yeah.
What did people think about that? The midichlorians being the explanation for the Force.
I was young.
I was okay with it, to be honest.
I didn't mind it. People lost their mind over it, and I'm like, the fact that there's a biological marker for something that you like, that doesn't, there's EM fields when there's ghosts around and shit. Like there's a physical impact on the world.
Poltergeists happen under electric pylons quite a lot.
To me, that was not. People lost their mind, and I was like, I'm totally fine with this.
Yeah, I was okay with it because
I don't mind there being
of it as such.
I don't mind there being a physical or biological marker for it.
Yeah,
I don't like the idea of it determining the amount of force. You know what I mean? Like I don't like it. I don't like it having control of it. Like it can have a marker for it. Like it's something that if more is present, you're more, susceptible or whatever. Like there's a marker, but it doesn't.
Yeah, you can only see or feel the Force if you have those midichlorians. That's the way I saw it.
Right.
How they were trying to explain it.
People are Force sensitive, so I don't think there's an issue with having biological markers to show that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. It doesn't have to influence like how strong you are in the Force. I think that's more of a training sort of thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
I don't have a
everybody
problem
has
with it.
genetic markers. Like that sometimes you could be a really good piano player if you follow that road, but you don't
Sure.
know until you start to learn it.
Yeah, you
and
might not be
that's
naturally
part of
gifted. You
your
might just be
genetics,
very
yeah.
diligent at practice. Even
Yeah.
I know we talked about KOTOR. Jolie Bindo found the Force on accident. He wasn't trained. He just figured it out.
Well, again,
Yeah.
they tried to do that with Ahsoka, didn't they? You don't have to be force sensitive to have the force. You can just train in it.
Because I remember
Just stand around with your arms crossed, staring at each other.
And then suddenly
Or be
you
on
can
Canto
jump
Bight,
90%
living
of
in
that
a
show
room all
was.
by yourself as a child. I can use.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to use the Force. Yeah.
a kid with a broom.
Yeah, and then friggin' Sabine Wren, who's
You get
just
the Force. You get the
Sabine,
Force.
no,
Everybody gets
yeah,
the Force.
just learn the Force and can force jump and all that, all just out of nowhere, pretty much.
You're a
You can learn the
Mandalorian.
Force, it's
You'll be able to
fine.
learn it.
Yeah.
You get the
Oh, I
Force.
hated that.
You get the Force.
I never
God.
really.
Anybody get the
midichlorians
Force, and
never
nobody can die
bothered
from
me, but-
lightsabers.
But
That too.
It's good to
didn't
know
want to
that
have
not
it
everyone
explained
was
to me.
against the midichlorians, because I remember when it came out, the fury, and I just didn't understand it, and a lot of it was because of the Christian values. I guess there was a lot of people against it because of that. It's like how you're basically saying there's no God, that it's all inside. It's
Really?
it's all built
That's what
in.
people
And,
thought?
I think there was a lot, because there
I never
was
heard
very
that argument
Christian
before.
values behind it.
Mhm.
So at that time there was a lot, because this was at the time of remember this is 19. Oh, when was
1999?
midichlorians brought out?
99.
99.
Yeah, I mean, this was during the time of like not necessarily satanic panic and stuff like that, but there was a lot of pushback against violence on TV and stuff, and there was a lot of that behind. I think that's what pushed a lot of it. It was seen as anti-religious.
Phantom Menace was
That's only a
first,
personal thing.
was my first Star Wars, so as long as I've known Star Wars, there was midichlorians, so for me it didn't really change anything.
No, it never really. I was never affected by it. I just wondered how everyone else saw it, because
Yeah.
I remember the fury behind it, and I couldn't understand it myself.
Yeah, I remember talking to Ryan about it, and Ryan was saying, "Listen, it's fine. It's there's nothing wrong with it with the midichlorians." So
I just preferred not to have every little secret, given to me. The Force is this mystery. Let's keep it as that. We don't need to explain every little thing in the universe, right? That was just I don't care about it either way. It's fine. I just
on a different topic, Darth, you would know this: the Haydenites from Robotech.
Yes.
Don't want to know anything about them. Just leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody when they wrote the new series, let's
explain this. Yeah.
Let's explain this.
Yeah.
When they were supposed to be like really no knowledge about them.
Mm-hmm.
They were just highly intelligent androids. That was it.
Yeah.
So, what would you change about Revenge of the Sith if you could? Something, a part in the movie, or because I know we talked about like the Padme thing and things from novelization we wish they could have got in there. But if there's a part in the movie that you would have liked to change most, what would it be?
Because again, it was a long time ago. Mace Windu dies in Revenge of the Sith, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That I'd change that the way he dies. He
For
went
now.
out like a bitch. Well, no, he's not.
Ace
coming back.
Windu goes out the window.
Yeah, he gets defenestrated, to quote this for. But yeah, I didn't like the way he went out. It was too quick, too just like that. He's arguing the point, and he tries to stop it, and then just bye. And it's like for such a powerful Jedi to go out like that, it just felt a bit weird for me.
So Pigeon, funny
Technically,
story.
he could have survived.
Funny story,
He could've.
Pigeon. So
Nobody's ever really gone.
Revenge of the Sith video game came out before.
Yeah, I know about this. Yeah.
So Ryan was playing it. Told all his friends how there was a massive fight between Anakin and Mace Windu.
Yeah.
And then he goes and watches it, and then doesn't happen.
Yeah, he goes out like a bitch. There's no denying it. It's that's the one scene I hated that, because he was such a good character, and he just didn't give the send off. Yeah, he didn't give the send off he deserved, really. Like, he doesn't go out in a lightsaber fight. He gets thrown out of a goddamn window.
He did have his hand cut off, and
well,
Yeah.
that's part of the course for a Jedi, isn't it?
For me, I wish we had more I wish we had more battles between the CIS and the clones. I wish there was more of that in it. Because on Kashyyyk, we get that. We get more stuff on Kashyyyk and on Utapau, but we didn't get a whole lot more. And I wish we'd gotten a whole lot more of the battle. So that's what I would have liked to have seen.
I think I said this earlier, but I would have kept in those senator scenes where they're getting together.
I'd have liked to.
I'd have kept that stuff in there for sure.
Sorry, one more thing. I wish we had more Count Dooku.
Well,
and Grievous.
Yeah.
Did have more pieces.
I mean, I know that we're just that bridging from between 2 and 3. It would have been nice to have more Grievous.
Yeah, because Christopher Lee, when you got Christopher Lee, man, you use him.
I think he wasn't it time constraints though that he could only film for so long.
Yeah,
they used, was it the
I think they had him for one day in this one.
Yeah,
so he could only shoot for one day. And
that would have been mine. Definitely more Christopher Lee for sure.
Lines.
Yeah. Was he doing Lord of the Rings or something?
No, he would have been.
No, this would have been.
Oh yeah, that would
2005.
Oh yeah. So. I guess he was just.
It would have been in between.
In between. So he was still doing Saruman.
Yeah.
I would have changed the Grievous and Obi-Wan battle. I felt like that was a little bit out there. I don't know. That's
I like
just
the way he kills him.
See, I didn't really care for that.
I always kind of like
the
that
blaster and all that.
Yeah.
And then like the chase with like the creature and his mobile, whatever the heck Grievous was driving.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but I feel like that's one I would have changed things up a little bit.
So what would you have done differently?
I would have made it more lightsaber focused. I mean, really would have been cool seeing more four lightsabers versus one kind of thing. Maybe he takes one from Grievous and it's a 2-on-2 and just finish him off somehow with a lightsaber.
Yeah, because we got more of Grievous in the micro series. Where he's just hunting down Jedi, which we wanted. So I agree. I think we could have had more. Should have had
maybe
more.
One of those lightsabers he owned was a lightsaber that somebody Obi-Wan knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what bothered me the most about this movie is Grievous, because in the micro series he was so intimidating and scary, and they really set him up to be one of the evilest, most badass villains. Just off of that, and then the movie came and he didn't really do much. He just kind of ran away from the fights and everything like that. Obi-Wan took him down, no problem. And I'm like, well, this wasn't the Jedi Hunter that we had.
Well, to be fair, he's facing Obi-Wan, so it's a little different compared to the other Jedi. So, and I get that because he would have took down other Jedi, but when it came down to Obi-Wan, I don't think he wasn't going to beat Obi-Wan. But I hear your point.
And I would have
I have a lightsaber question for the Star Wars people. So there's different colors, So I get the red is the corrupted one, right? And then there's blue, green, and purple. What is
Yellow.
And okay, right. So what is the designation? I get, or what is the distinction between the colors?
Purple first. Purple. Samuel Jackson wanted the purple.
Yep. Yeah. He just wanted to be noticeable in the battle.
Yep.
So you can see where he was. That was it. He asked for purple.
Yeah.
There's no lore.
Yep.
Who
that's a letdown.
Paul, you want to take
Anything
this
else?
One, Darth? I know we all know. You guys want to take
give
it?
To Darth.
Darth, you take it. We know. We all know.
Oh, it's just about the crystals, right? The different colored crystals that give the
little bit more than
lightsabers the
that.
color.
Yeah. Well, so so when you're training to be a Jedi, there's different types of Jedi.
Okay.
And the Templars have and the Guardians and Sentinels have a specific color, and that
I guess the Sentinel.
So in the film, in the film, it was simply so you could differentiate between the two sabers. That was the real original reason. But obviously, the books didn't delve into that more.
I don't know. I don't have the knowledge that Ryan would have in this sort of thing.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Be a
green means you're sort of you're married to you're trying to figure out the Force Like that's you're the meaning of you as a Jedi. You're trying like mastering the Force and understanding it and how it operates in the universe. The Jedi, that's the Jedi Templars. The Jedi Guardians, that's blue. Those are the ones who use the Force to fight for good and to defend the Jedi Order and to defend the galaxy from the Sith. That's their thing. And Sentinels are meant as more of a using the Force as a bulwark. They're sort of like the shield to prevent incursion from evil. That's I guess the shorthand of it. I think I hit all that right, Cole.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the red is just corrupted, so it's corrupted, and that's why it turns red.
Yeah, like whenever you're holding the lightsaber and you bleed into the crystal.
Don't even
It's that simple, guys. Come on.
No, listen. Even as a normie, that was fucking stupid to me. What the fuck? You fucking clown. Yeah.
Hey, you have to do a blood oath with your lightsaber to turn it red.
Mother.
Which EU book was it that I forget, it was one of them that was falling to the dark side and the saber starts turning red while he's using it in battle. Is that Darth? Not Darth Plagueis. It was one of those. It's the color starts changing in the middle of the battle from what it was, and it goes completely red.
What was that
one?
I'm getting like, is it Darth Plagueis or is it like a Darth Bane novel?
Yeah, it was one of those because it was before Heir to the Empire or like Truce at Bakura and all that stuff. It was before that, or in timeline wise. The book came later, but
yeah, there's so many.
I could have changed.
Does anybody miss the Acolyte? Because I actually do. I loved hate watching that thing.
Content mill.
It was just so stupid and funny. Like everything was just Disney had already ruined it at that point, so I didn't care what else they did. And so just watching that was, I don't know, it was just a fun hate watch.
I didn't.
Oh, they ruined so much stuff. With
They should burn just for what they did to fucking, what was that, Hornbroad, Jackie or whatever? Do you see the body on that fucking broad and the way they made her look in that show? She's fucking banging. They should all burn just for what they did to that broad, okay?
Yeah. Also, like something of that show.
Hollywood do that with all of
that.
Trumpinization of beautiful women. That's
you bring Carrie Ann Moss into something and you don't even utilize her. Like, what a waste.
Yeah. I could change one thing from the Sith. I think it's when they reassemble Anakin as Vader, and the first words out of where's Padme? No. I still, to me, he would, if he'd really fallen to the dark side. I mean, of course he's going to ask, and he would say, "Well, she's dead." And then to me, a natural Sith would be like, "Where's Obi-Wan? She's dead because of him," and his rage would take over. He's not going to be singularly focused on Padme at that point because he knows, and he says, "No, I felt her. She was alive." Okay, I don't know how you do it. Again, they kind of painted themselves into a corner the way they did it. I just thought that was pretty weak. I would have done that in a more nuanced approach and have him maybe, where's Padme? Where's Anakin? Like, have him be mad at both of them. And they go, well, she's dead and we don't know what happened to him. And have him just be completely consumed with rage to the point that he's not concerned for her well-being. He's angry. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm off base, but that's what I would have changed.
Well, he is more machine now than man.
True. I mean, he's more calculating and what have you, but.
One more thing I would have changed, and they do it in the micro series, and they talk about it in the book too, is how Coruscant was basically under siege and the battle was across the capital and everything like that. But yet in the movie, when they land and they finally arrive and they're showing there's like nothing going on. There's no smoke. There's no destroyed buildings or anything like that. And I think that was
people are going to the store. I need a soda.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, we're going to the opera tonight. I'll see you.
Yeah. A lot of that is in the Labyrinth of Evil novel as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and they're showing basically, because they got routed. Yeah, there was a lot of different things. Well, remember, the micro series came out after they could have. Yeah, because the micro series came out later. So
where can I see this micro series? Because I haven't seen it.
Oh, just go to YouTube.
I know.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
What's it called?
Oh, Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. All right.
Gennady Tartakovsky's Clone Wars.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good series because it's funny because in this, Grievous is awesome. In the Clone Wars series, the Disney series, he's basically a bitch.
He's nerfed.
Well, I'd say
hard.
that in the film because I remember watching it and like hearing how badass he was, and in the film,
Well, it's not like he was like there was only so much he could do, right? Because like they cut out the one scene where he killed Shakti, which kind of sucked. You know, and like I said, that 4-hour cut, there was more with him doing things. So, you know, and it was kind of nice in the micro series where they show Dooku training Grievous. So,
I'd love to see all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you had some of that
swordsmanship.
Yeah,
Dooku's that is.
Yeah, if you can ever find them. Let's see these ones.
Yep, there you go.
Yep, that's the.
Yep.
Those are
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Definitely
That shit is
the
awesome.
best of them.
Yeah, it's a great series. I mean, you find out how Grievous gets his cough, how
Pigeon, it's in the private chat.
yeah, he gets Anakin gets his scar. Mace Windu goes totally ape on the clone on the droids. Like he just destroys them all. It's a good series.
I don't know. I think I have it like in storage or like in a box or something somewhere. But I have like a Mace Windu action figure from that Clone Wars series. So I love the art style for that, and they captured that pretty well with that figure.
Yeah, I actually have. You know what? Let me go grab it.
Yeah, they had specific not characters, action figures for that series. I remember.
Yeah, and this one
They were
was like a
very
fairly
rigid.
new one that they made, and I got it for like on clearance at Walmart for like $5.
Oh, a newer version.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
it wasn't. The one I have is not one that came out like when the cartoon was airing.
Those were really, really awesome because they really did capture the style of the animation and those earlier figures. You know, they had sort of the kind of heroic stances and all the different armor and everything. And
Oh, yeah.
they didn't have as much articulation as some of the other ones at the time, but they were really, really, really good looking.
And much better than the CGI one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So
Oh, yeah.
Obi-Wan statue and
Yeah.
clone armor.
Nice.
Awesome. So
That's
rad.
dope as fuck.
That's
So they
rad.
only made 2,500 of these. So it tells this whole story arc.
That's so cool. Was that when he was Oh no, that would have been before that.
This would be he's in his this would be basically part of the micro series.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, was that when he was on the bike fighting Dirge?
Yes.
That is it. Okay.
Yeah.
I put in the private chat the figure I was talking about.
See if I can pull
Big
this
piece. And then this is pretty cool too. The art of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh yeah.
This is a really good because it has all the different it's basically
Oh, yeah.
this has all the different designs they were gonna
Yeah,
go
that's
with.
sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's a nice
So
one.
rad. Love that.
I gotta have my.
That's
Clone
cheap
Wars
as well.
down
20
here.
quid.
Wicked awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So.
nice. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to get the. It's not showing.
Shows you how much work used to go into making Star Wars films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually
The fucking
cared.
care and the passion, bro. I know that's what we've been saying this whole time through all these movies, but you gotta say it again. The fucking care and the passion that went into these movies is just fucking unmatched, dude.
Oh yeah.
Any of them. I mean, if you guys have ever seen like Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens' like sketchbooks for when they were making Lord of the Rings. I mean, any of these properties, people used to care and dump a lot of love and time into it.
Yeah.
I might buy that right now.
Yeah, don't mention those names to me.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Yeah, well,
Pull that
yeah,
up, Spider.
now.
And this
Yeah.
damn hunt for Gollum thing. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Spider, go
And
ahead
then
and add
Jordan.
that to the list for mine and Cole's collection. Just put that on the shopping
We're
list.
getting the solar
And yes,
sailor.
Yes, they've lost their fucking minds recently, Roland.
Put it
I
back here
agree.
for you.
They were at
Roland,
one
you didn't-
point
Didn't
just
enjoy
like
the War of the
just
Road
like
Hero?
anybody. They put the ring on, and you know they were given a ring. They put it on. They became corrupted, and they're gone. They're thralls to Sauron now. But at one point they were good people.
The War of the Rohirrim was fucking. That's the cartoon, right? With the fucking broad.
Yeah.
That was fucking horrible, dude.
The woman who
I
had
couldn't
one
finish it.
line in the book, in the appendix, gets a whole
She
thing.
didn't even have a
Get a
name.
name.
They had to make a fucking name for
Instead
her.
of using Hammerhelm.
Which what the story is about. He's the hero.
Yeah.
That's why
Helm
Helm's
Hammerhand is
Deep
the-
has its
yeah.
name. They
That was
don't call it
Hammerhand, sorry.
Hera's Deep, you dumbasses.
So I haven't read the similar in all the appendices and stuff, but even I know to have done that whole thing when they've got several other people they could have used. It doesn't matter that she was a woman; it's the fact that she just had one line. There was no reasoning behind it. It just seemed weird to me.
Yeah.
Could have done something so much cooler.
Yeah.
Well,
But as we
it's the
know,
same
when a stone
problem-
floats,
Oh,
Listen, it's the same. It's the same problem here. The hunt for Gulm. Your references a couple of paragraphs in the appendices,
yeah.
and then you have a couple of paragraphs from the Fellowship of the Ring,
Yeah.
which is basically just Aragorn retelling the tale of
Yeah.
how he captured Gulm.
And
that's
it's already
it.
been done. It's already been done in Shadow of Mordor, and they did it really well.
Yeah.
Well, and
That's
there's
a great
also
game.
there's also a fanfic on YouTube
Yeah,
that
there's a
actually
few, there's a few.
is done really well. And seeing if this thing sucks, like I think it's going to suck,
After
because I already
circuses,
know some
yeah.
bad things. I did a video on it. I already know some really bad things that are coming down the pipe, and I know where they're going with this shit.
Well,
It's
after
gonna be
Animal
a
Farm, I think we know
horrible
where it's
movie.
going.
Yeah.
It's going to be a horrible movie. Basically, it's going to be another one of the Gulm. They're going to make Gulm relatable.
He was the good guy all along. He only murdered
Yeah.
his brothers just because
He's
they didn't,
misunderstood.
they didn't want him in the boat with them. That's obviously
Gollum is a skeezy bad guy. That is his fucking character.
Yeah.
Leave
Hey,
that
guys,
the
I
fuck
got to run
alone.
out. I got to go to band practice, so I got to bail. It's been real. Thank you guys so much. This was really a blast. Fun to finally stream with Mego and Roland, Christian.
Yeah.
You guys, Livid Pigeon.
Oh, I see. It's like that. Is it? Oh, right.
Good to meet you,
That's
Graham.
good to have you. It's good to
have me on here.
Okay.
Hopefully to see you guys soon.
Nice to chat with you.
good night.
Donna, Beach, thanks for having me again. Love it. Always love this stuff, but I got to bounce.
Enjoy your session.
Say,
All right.
Take it easy,
Cheers,
brother. Stay
Good
blessed.
time, man.
Take care.
I
All
actually
right, all
probably
right. I
to
have
go
a question
too.
to kind of. What is that, Mego? Sorry.
I think I gotta go too.
Yeah, we're gonna round it out. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
go around in the kind. So just final thoughts, man. Anything you guys want to share? Go ahead and run it in your outros. Greatly appreciate all of you coming on, giving us your time and sharing your thoughts with us in the audience. Like, this is what it's all about. This is why we started this, and this is why we'll keep going, man. So,
Send it to you, you
Mego,
beast. Blessings
Yeah.
to you, brother.
we'll start with Mego. She has to go. So, Mego, you can go first, ladies first, and then we'll just make our way around from her.
Final thoughts. I'm glad I went back and watched this movie because it had been a while. I picked up on some stuff I maybe just never noticed, or I don't know, I'm older now, maybe just noticed different things this time. And it was really fun chatting with you guys.
All right,
Me
all
too.
right, Mr.
Good
Mr.
insights.
Darth.
Well, I just some of the things that I really enjoyed, of course, were the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and I think it was really well done in this. Like the idea that they're now equals, and the way that the relationship deteriorates throughout the film, I think, is actually well done. Yeah, that's pretty much it there for that.
All right. Where can they find you and stuff? You want to plug anything before you go?
Oh, maybe I should do that. Sorry. What a scatterbrain I am. Yeah, I mean, thanks again for having me on the show. You can catch me on YouTube and Rumble at Chilled Monkey Brains. That's with a Z. currently working on another video for my Star Trek 60th anniversary review series. We'll be talking about the search for Spock that we never got.
All right, Mr. Livid Pigeon. Final thoughts, and where are you at, man?
I think because I haven't watched this in such a long time, this stream now makes me want to go back and watch all 6 films.
Fuck
And
yeah.
probably watch them in the right order as well, because I was never really a prescriber to that. I was a case of watch them as they were supposed to be, but I think I'm going to go back and watch them just because you've all given me so much more insight into something I already knew and loved. To realistically a normie's point when it comes to Star Wars. So thank you all for like giving those insights, because it makes me want to watch the film again. So thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Mr. What? X? They find you on X, bro? You're
On
not
X,
streaming yet, are you?
No, I'm not streaming yet, but I am talking to a few people about doing some gaming streaming that might happen soon. So,
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I might be doing some streaming with some people, but I've also got a video that I'm doing now that's going to come out about a really, really bad game. But I'm not going to say anything about it. I think I've already spoken to you about it, but I'm not going to say because I don't really want anyone else. No one else knows about this game apart from me, so I'm going to keep that one up to wraps. But it's quite a bad game about coyotes.
All right. Mr. Colhauser?
Yeah, this has been a great stream. Love Revenge of the Sith. Big Star Wars fan. Well, OG Star Wars, not Disney. And all I'm doing is I'm just doing some gaming streams, doing some stuff with Geeks and Gamers. We got something coming out soon with Geeks and Gamers, which it's gonna be pretty cool. So, but when the time is right, we'll be releasing that. And then that's pretty much it.
Your old school Call of Duty stuff is good. I'm going back and watching them. I'm loving them.
Yeah, we're having some fun because we're basically getting everybody now to do get PlayStation 3 so they can get the old school Modern Warfare.
Hell yeah.
And one other thing, we're actually planning with I actually talked to Comics Division yesterday, as Roland would say, Ian. We're gonna with Darth. We're gonna do some Robotech. We're gonna be talking some Robotech. So we're just working. We're just gotta work out some logistics, but we're gonna be starting that soon.
Yeah, I think PS3 cross-plays as well. I'm not positive. I think it cross-plays with Xbox as well. If you possibly, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Spider Unlimited. What's up, brother?
Nothing. We'll be back tomorrow with the tier list ranking for the Monday mashup of the Star Wars movies and talking Spaceballs, and our very good friend Comics Dad will be joining us.
Nice. All right, Mr. Rohlin the Wretched.
All right. Well, you can catch me on my YouTube. It's spelled just the way it looks underneath. Also, you can catch me on Monday nights on Comics Division's channel. It's Monday Night Meltdown. That usually starts at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's more pop culture stuff. We throw in a little bit. There's a segment now where we do some paranormal stuff or urban legends and stuff like that. Seems to be working pretty well with people. Everybody seems to really like that. And again, thanks for having me on.
All right. Thanks for being on. Mr. Christian Rocker. What's up, brother?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Christian Rocker. Find me on Twitter, same name. This was really fun. It seems like for the most part, all of us agreed. There wasn't any sort of huge fighting going on. Unfortunately, nothing fun there. But no, it was fun to just kind of like have nerd talk about good Star Wars. And thanks for having me on. And can't wait for the Rise of Skywalker stream.
It's gonna be a long wait.
All right, Miss Donna Doc. What we got coming up?
Yeah. Well, to answer that, since I do the booking, I believe hell's gonna freeze over before we see that stream. I could be wrong, but I'm not. So tomorrow we've got, like Spider said, we've got Spaceballs to round out all this. Might as well have a little levity while we're doing this. And probably the Star Wars 6 movie tier because there are only 6. And that's going to be Comics Dad, and Mego, I believe, is going to be back for that one. And on the 10th, we are doing, since it's the anniversary of Jurassic Park, we are doing the OG Jurassic Park with Graham and John Ambler.
Hell
We'll be
yeah.
back for our usual Thursday roundtable with the usual suspects.
Cool.
Yeah, man. I'm Beast, man. I do most of the animations and stuff. You can follow me on X, Beast87. I really like this movie, and I know, people were saying that it's kind of a downer and a little more dark, and
Why?
I think, yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna call you out by name, Mego, but since Mego said it was
I
really
stand
dark
by
and
it. I
down,
stand by it.
So you should.
but I think we need that, and I think it's part of it. You got to have darkness to have the light, and I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. That is my final thoughts on this particular movie. As far as the overall Star Wars saga, kind of like Pigeon said, man, this has given me the opportunity to rewatch stuff and really, really fucking enjoy it. And talking with all of y'all and having nerd conversations is fucking awesome.
I've got
And
Clone
anybody who
Wars on my
hasn't
second
read
screen
the
right now.
novelization, I definitely recommend that. Or just
I
listen
will
to
do,
the
yeah.
audiobook. That's what I did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
I will do.
it's fantastic.
Definitely.
I think it's
What
on
book do
YouTube
you start
for free.
with? What book do you start with? Or what series
Arkham
of
City.
books?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, y'all. Tell the ones you love that you love them. As always, remain blessed, and we're out of here, y'all. Peace.